God bless, guys. God bless, God bless, God bless. Welcome back to the Apologetic Arena Live. I'm your host, Israel. You can also call me King Context. And today I'm going to be showing you how to defend your faith as a Christian again. Today, we're going to be continuing with what we're calling Women Wednesday. If this is your first time here as well, don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe if, as you watch today, that you actually like what we're talking about today and you like to know how to defend your faith against different groups. We deal with Hebrew Israelites, Islam, atheism, and Orthodox Judaism mainly on the channel. Today we're going to be dealing with Islam and the argument that Islam honors women more than Christianity. So we are going to be taking calls. If you are a Muslim, feel free to call in and we can have a conversation. I'm going to forewarn everyone, or just remember, guys, that Muslims have habitually reported the stream. So just to keep that in mind, I'll get to you in a second. And anyone else who wants to call in, feel free to call in, right? And I'm willing to have conversations with everyone. So I just want you to know first and foremost. Anyway, you know, we'll get to this. Paul, how you doing? God bless you. Thanks for tuning in. Before we get any, Skylar, how you doing? God bless. And before we get any excited Muslims who come and start accusing and saying, oh, why are you doing this, blah, 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 etc., we're going to play our, which is, I guess, the customary video, right? What set all of this stuff off? The Muslim guy who decided to post a video, Ecosmos, how you doing? Titling his video, Islam honors women more than Christianity. And since then, we've just been having conversations and showcasing why that could never be the truth. It's the furthest thing from the truth. So what we're going to do, just as you guys come in and hit the like button, let's watch this video, refresh ourselves. And obviously, if you're watching from TikTok, you can obviously hear what's obviously being said. But let's start with this, and then we'll jump into any callers who want to call in. First and foremost. All right. 7th century Islam was saying women don't have to take the surname of their husband. In Islam, the mother, there's a saying of the Prophet that says paradise lies under the feet of the mother. Somebody asked the Prophet with regards to who deserves my companionship, my time, to the mother. Said, who next? Your mother. Who next? Your mother. Who next? Your father. This is the rights that are given to the mother. The Prophet, peace be upon him, said, the best of you are those that are good to their women. In Islam, the rights of the women are more so than what was there at the time and what is even there today as well. Because at the time when Islam gave the rights, later, about 1,000 years later, that's when women were allowed to vote. In fact, 300 years, in fact longer, in Europe, they were debating if women even had souls, if they were even human beings. But Muslims were saying paradise lies under the feet of your mother. The best of the people are the ones that are good to their women folk. This is unheard of 1,400 years ago. All right, so obviously you heard it, we've heard it multiple times before. For some reason enough, this Muslim decided to publish this video and say Islam honors women more than Christianity. And let me just ask this question, right, before we continue. So far, for those who have been here and seen more than one live stream of us having these conversations, would you think that this Muslim guy who made this video is correct to say that Islam honors women more than Christianity? And obviously, just put your comments in, right? And guys, I mentioned this before, right? This is the link for you to click in and to call in if you want to have a conversation. Feel free, you can call in. And we've seen so many things happen over these weeks, right? With potential callers, with conversations with Muslims, etc. We've had people call in and crash out, right? Malfunction before they've even called in to have a conversation. We've had some conversations where the Muslims have actually been reasonable and they can have a good conversation. We've had people that have come up thinking that they know so much stuff about Islam and they can't deal with basic hadith, basic Quran verses. We've had people totally shocked. We've had people, I remember one woman mentioning some of the sources and she literally couldn't believe, she was laughing. She was like, wait, is this the Quran? Like, what did it say? I think shock is one of the most common things we've seen time and time again with these Muslims that we've spoken to. They are shocked. Most of them don't understand. They don't know that these things are in their sources. And when a Christian says it, because their own Muslims won't say it to them, they automatically assume that we are lying, that we are not telling the truth, as if we would obviously do that, right? And it's one of the things you have to realize, and I realize this more and more, even just the more and more I speak to Muslims, right, is a lot of them are ignorant. They don't know. So we have to, I guess, just have thicker skin, because it's not like many of these Muslims actually know what's in these sources. A lot of them don't know. So when they see a Christian saying it, their automatic response is, well, all I've heard my whole life is that Christians are evil, they're polytheists, they're all of this stuff, they're all this bad stuff, right? The Quran says stuff like the Jews and the Christians are the worst of creatures, right? So this is the lens which they come through, and they process all of the stuff that we say. So they think that we'd be lying about their sources, when you have the conversations with them, and we are the ones that are actually being more reasonable, more faithful to their actual sources. So think about it like that, right? When we speak to these, we have these conversations. This is one of the things I try to remember a lot of the time, right? Don't put yourself in a situation where you're getting too carried away, because a lot of these guys don't know, and if they don't know, they're obviously going to be upset about it.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How you doing, Mo?
I'm alright, brother. What about you?
Yeah, I'm blessed. You're a Muslim, I assume.
Alhamdulillah, yes.
All right, so I don't know if you were here when I just played a video. It was a Muslim guy. He published a video saying Islam honors women more than Christianity. Would you agree with him?
Say that again, buddy.
I just played a video, right? It was a Muslim guy. He had this video titled Islam honors women more than Christianity. Do you agree with him?
It's Islam what? Does women what?
Honors women more than Christianity.
Oh, what about it?
What do you think about that? Do you agree with that Muslim who made that video, who published that video?
I haven't seen the video, no.
Just based on the title.
Do you know what? I think I think it really depends, to be honest. If you are, in a Western country and you don't really care about, the old values, the conservative lifestyle, then whether or not you're Christian or not, you don't really honor your women. As far as if you lived in a Christian country, such as I don't know, Poland, or what's that one called in Italy?
A country in Italy.
No, yeah. Oh, the Vatican. There we go. That's a Christian country.
Okay.
And also Muslim countries, majority countries like Saudi Arabia. So it really just depends on where you are in the world.
All right. Okay. What kind of Muslim are you?
Sunni.
Okay, so you accept Quran and Hadith.
Mm-hmm.
All right. How long have you been Muslim?
All my life, brother. Come on.
All your life?
Mm-hmm.
So you were raised into this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how old are you?
You're asking me how old I am, bro. What does that have to do with the
No, I'm just interested. Considering you're saying all your life, I'm interested. Like, if you tell me like you're like 15 or something, that's different to if you're like 30 years old or something. That would give you more time to actually think through like why you believe what you believe.
25, bro.
Okay. Are you telling the truth or you doing taqiyya?
Telling the truth, bro.
All right, cool. So I want to read something to you from the hadith, and you can tell me what you think about it. Right?
By the way, why are we just jumping topics? Are we talking about the prompts? Are we talking about my age? Are we talking about the hadith? What are we doing here?
The hadith is on the topic.
I see. So what do you want me to do? Just tell you what it means and that's it?
Yeah, like let's have a conversation about what the hadith says in regards to the prompt.
Okay.
All right. So this is from Where's this from? This is from Bukhari, Sahih Bukhari, 5193. Bukhari 5193. And it says, narrated Abu Huraira. The Prophet said, if a man, hold on, sorry. All right. If a man invites his wife to sleep with him and she refuses to come to him, then the angels will send their curses on her till the morning. What do you think about that?
I mean, what's so bad about that?
Why is the woman being cursed? Because she refuses to have intercourse with her husband.
Yeah, I mean, that's such a simple, answer.
Go ahead.
It's because that men in a relationship are the head, of the household, and women should follow our rules, our orders, and if they're stopping us from, relieving ourselves, relaxing ourselves, then it becomes an issue.
Okay, so just because the man is to lead the house, you think that warrants him being able to get it whenever? Let me finish. Let me be the one to give you everything
you want and need.
All right,
baby, good love and protect.
I don't know what it is about these first callers these days have been bots, man. But I guess the more and more we have conversations like this, the more and more we realize at some point we're just gonna have to say okay, this is Islam. This is what Islam does to you. Because why are so many Muslims acting like this? Why do they all behave in the same way? It's like they're allergic. They have a virus from their own sources. You read a source to them, and for some reason, they act as if they automatically have to malfunction. You ask for an explanation. Okay, yeah, this is because of this. This is amazing. But yeah, guys. So I was thinking about this earlier on, right? This is the Muslims have tried so many different stuff with this topic. They've come along. They've said, "Oh yeah, you know what? You don't know what you're talking about." We've opened up sources. We've opened up hadith. We've opened up the Quran. We've had conversations. We've had people reporting the live stream. I won't be surprised if people report it again today, right? Then you have people say, yeah, don't have conversations with them. And it makes you wonder. It's like, these are the same people that will turn around and say, oh yeah, we have the truth. Christianity is false, blah, 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 etc. But when you now open up and have conversations with them, they'll speak to you for a while, and then all of a sudden they'll start running away and they won't want to speak to you anymore, right? And they will go on like they know what they're talking about. Now, I won't be surprised, Ecosmios, if they report the stream again today, right? We know they're obviously avoiding the stream. The Muslims have told them don't call in other Muslims to call into the stream, right? I won't be surprised if they shadow ban the stream as well, right? Because that would be fully in line with the spirit of Islam, right? When you come across something you don't like, try and argue. When you realize you can't defeat them with argumentation, you try and silence them one way, shape, or form. Okay, this is interesting. Do you know that the Muslims in the Middle East are the same with ethnicity as the people in the Bible? Okay, let's even say that was true. What does that have to do with anything? How does that change how Islam treats women? Okay, Israelis today are European. Okay, how does that change what we're talking about today? These guys can't even stay focused. All right. We read, I'd probably say as well, the hadith we read just now, I'd say it's arguably the lightest hadith that we're probably going to read today, right? and the first caller already malfunctioned on it. It wasn't even that deep. All right. So this is why I always say, guys, you have to share the live stream. You have to hit the like button, because Muslims are going to be doing their best to not get this out. So we looked at this hadith, right? This is what the hadith I spoke to this caller about, where the Prophet is literally, he's saying, based on the narration of Abu Huraira, that a man can invite his wife to sleep with him, and if she says no, the angels are going to curse her until the morning. So this Muslim woman who says no to her husband, she has to live with the fact that, okay, all night I'm going to be cursed. And Muslims think this is a religion which is good for women, when merely just by rejecting and saying, no, I'm tired, maybe not today, let's do it another day, okay, not in the mood, etc. Like whatever the reason could be, right? Which a lot of people, most people would look at as, okay, this is a valid reason, this is a justifiable reason, okay, cool. Like, what about some grace? Islam doesn't know about grace, clearly. And in those situations, the woman in Islam goes to bed thinking and knowing angels are cursing them. Angels are cursing them. And when we speak to this first Muslim, what does he say? He says, yeah, he thinks this is acceptable because a husband is the head of the house. So I want you to understand, as a Christian, notice the difference between what it means to be a head of the house in Christianity and what it means as a Christian, and what it means to be the head of the house as a Muslim. When we look at this same very topic in regards to Christianity, you can read through 1 Corinthians chapter 7. It talks about how the husband and the wife, their bodies are each other's, right? No one gets to rule over the other with their body. No one gets to say no or yes. Like, it's total agreement. And that makes sense. Whereas in Islam, no. Just like the caller said, the man gets what the man wants just because he's the leader. And this is Islam. This is what you have to deal with as a Muslim. So I don't know if that guy had ever heard this hadith before. Most Muslims probably haven't heard of that hadith before, but there you go. Give me 2 seconds, guys. All right. All right. So yeah, guys, I'm not even surprised. I'll just be real with you. If we've been having these conversations for weeks and weeks and weeks, and if these people are starting to get afraid of this topic, I'm not even surprised, right? But yeah, just notice how one group of people, Muslims, notice how the Muslims act most of the time when you have conversations. They can't control themselves, they're all over the place, and they don't want to engage. One washes her in scriptures, the other with curses. Such a comment. That actually might even be the comment of the day. But yeah, definitely. Those of you who are here, hit the like button. Hopefully we can get some humans to call in and have conversations. But let me just check something.
The 72 virgins.
All right. This is, this is a video I actually wanted us to look at, right? We've kind of had these conversations a little bit in recent times. Not as much as I actually wanted to get into, but this was a conversation recently with Patrick Bet-David and the Imam of Peace, right? And it's interesting because in this he talks about paradise, right? And Patrick Bet-David asked him a really good question, which I think is really relevant to Islam's bad treatment of women, right? So notice what happens in this conversation. It's a short clip, but I wanted to speak about this for a while, but you can obviously listen to some of it now. We get a live caller, but guys, don't be surprised. And this is what I want you to realize. You like Muslims cannot win with a topic like this. If they call in, right, they're gonna expose how badly Islam treats women. If they avoid the live stream and they don't call in, it's gonna show also that they're so petrified and so afraid that they can't call in and defend their religion and how it treats women. And we know this as well, considering the fact that we've had so many Muslim callers calling in the past, and now as the weeks have gone on, many of them have decided to stop calling in the way they were calling before because they've realized they can't answer, they can't deal with what's actually going on. But until we get another caller and hopefully we get some humans, let's listen to this and just notice what happens, right?
The 72 virgins when I die.
Yes. Okay. So 72 virgins is real.
Give me a thumbs up as well, just in the chat so you can hear him. And notice what he said initially, right? The Houris, as they're known, he said 72 virgins. It's real. It's real, guys. So for those of you who don't know, in Islam, in line with what happened with the first caller and how the man's desires are what matter most, is Muslim men are promised 72 virgins, right? Many virgins. You ask the Muslims, what are they going to get in paradise? They get to be deflowered over and over again. Maybe by their husband, but maybe by someone else. So if you're a Muslim, that doesn't mean in paradise you're actually going to be with your husband. He may be interested in someone else, and even if he is interested in you and wants you to be one of his wives, he's going to have unlimited amounts of women, or loads of women anyway, who he can spend his time with, which again is another reason why we know this is bad for women. And if you contrast this, we've had these conversations time and time again, right? I had conversations many times with Muslims, right, about how Muhammad said that the majority of people in hell were women. So in Islam, the majority of people in hell are women. Most of the people in hell are women. And in paradise, most of the women are there to be deflowered over and over and over and over again on a limited amount of times by these men who have multiple women, which is, again, mind-boggling. But somehow people look at this and say, yeah, this is the religion for women. Somehow you've got brain-dead Muslims making videos saying Islam honors women more than Christianity. You can't make this up. Okay, cool. And again, any Muslim who wants to call in, feel free to call in. We can have a conversation. And yeah, but notice what he says, right?
The 72 virgins when I die.
Yes. Okay. So 72 virgins is real.
The 72 virgins are real, guys. It's not made up. It's not made up, guys. It's real.
Hola, ¿cómo están?
Hello.
Hola, I want to ask you, like, why do you think Islam is bad for women?
Are you a Muslim?
Yes, sir. Like, can you answer the question?
Yes, you can. Go ahead.
Yeah, like, why is Islam bad for women?
Okay.
If it gives women so much rights?
I can tell you. Just let me know what kind of Muslim are you. Do you accept the Quran and the Hadith or just the Quran?
I accept the Quran and Sunnah, so I just want, like, your line of reasoning.
So I'm trying to give it to you, sister. So you accept the Hadith, yeah?
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I want to read something to you. It's Bukhari 5193. Sahih Bukhari 5193. I read this to a Muslim man a little while ago, right? And he said he likes it. He doesn't mind it. It's good because the man is the head of the house. But you tell me what you think about this, right? This is Sahih Bukhari 5193. It says, narrated Abu Huraira. The Prophet said, if a man invites his wife to sleep with him and she refuses to come to him, then the angels send their curses on her till the morning. What do you think about that?
In Islam, right, intimacy is not only the rights of the man, but it's the rights of the woman as well, right? It's very important when you're in a marriage that, okay, both parties are satisfied in that aspect, right? So, as a woman, you cannot withhold like sexual intimacy just to like spite your husband. You know what? I'm gonna punish you, therefore I'm gonna withhold this. And it's the same thing for a man, right? As a man, you cannot withhold this from your wife just to like spite them, right? In fact, I think it's an obligation for the man to like satisfy his wife at least like once a month, right? If this satisfaction sexually is not there, like it's a valid reason for divorce. So either way, like I think this is a good way to like, you know, secure and like set like rules and boundaries for marriage, which benefits both the man and the woman.
Okay. What's your name, sister?
Rayhan.
Okay, Rayhan. So it's a good question I want to ask you. Okay,
Yes,
because
sir.
you said it works both ways. So if the man says, you imagine a wife, Muslima, comes to her husband one night and says she wants intercourse, and he says no, are the angels going to curse him until the morning?
Allah alam, but I just know like goes both ways. Like it'll be
Allah Allah means the
impermissible
Lord
for
knows,
him to do
basically,
that.
guys, just for the record.
Yeah, like I don't speak with that knowledge. I just know like it goes both ways in terms of like you will like generally like be sinning if you're withholding intimacy with no like valid reason, because that's a valid reason for divorce. Allah hates divorce, therefore you know you do anything to like prevent that from happening.
How can it be the same? How can you say you know it's the same when the hadith says a woman is going to be cursed in the morning? And I'm asking you if the man's going to be cursed in the morning, and you say you don't know. It doesn't say anything about the man being cursed. The woman is the only one that's going to be cursed for not giving the man what he wants.
Yeah, I heard the hadith, but when I went to like madrasa, like from my understanding of the ruling is the same in terms of it's haram for both parties. But so yeah, I guess like in that aspect, if it's the same for both parties, then yeah, I guess the angels will curse the man. But I don't speak with that knowledge, which is why like I refrain like from saying that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's like you're saying something which you think and hope to be true, but it isn't true.
No, I know for a fact that it goes both ways, but in terms of like the angel cursing the man, Allah alam, like I'm agnostic on that. But in terms of okay, this being the rights of the man and for the woman as well, yeah, this is 100% the case, and there is no issue with this. Why? Because it's in terms of like you're literally doing it. It's not because oh I'm tired because I'm in pain. No, you want to do it in term to spite someone. That's wrong,
Okay.
right? You shouldn't do that. You know, especially like if like any type of relations outside of marriage is forbidden, you only have, you know, your spouse and they're just being petty, like basically punishing you. That's wrong.
Let me read it again. The Prophet said, if a man invites his wife to sleep with him and she refuses to come to him, then the angels send their curses on her till the morning. Where does it say she's being spiteful?
I can write. You're not a scholar. I'm not a scholar. We're both like laymen, right?
You don't listen.
So when it comes
whether
to
you're a
yeah,
scholar,
no, I just
listen.
I just want to respond.
Whether you're a scholar or
right?
not, you
Since
can read,
we're,
can't you?
can I respond?
You can
Can I
read though,
respond,
can't
please?
you?
Okay. Yeah, since we're like both like laymen, right? You're not supposed to like interpret like Sahih al-Bukhari. I don't do that, right? I went to like madrasa, which is like an Islamic school, and from what they taught me, from my understanding of the ruling, it is simply that this is in the case of like you have no valid reason, right? It's without a valid reason, and non-valid reasons would be, you know, spiting your husband, doing it for the sake of like malicious intent to like have a leg up on them, right? And in that aspect, yeah, it would be wrong.
Why are you adding to what the hadith says?
I'm not adding anything. This
You
is
are.
the ruling. This is
You,
the ruling derived from the hadith. I don't take from the hadith in the sense that I don't interpret it as my own. I take what the ruling on the hadith is.
do you believe that God created you with reason and intellect?
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, he did.
Okay. I believe so too. I believe God created everyone, man and woman, with brains that work and can function. So this
Alhamdulillah.
is why I'm asking you these questions based on this hadith. It doesn't say.
Oh no.
It doesn't
Wait,
say.
in terms of like,
It doesn't say that she can't. She's doing it because she's being spiteful. It doesn't say anything like that. It's just general. If he says, "I want this," she has to give it to him, or the angels are going to curse her all evening.
Wait, sir, listen, right? It's not about, oh, you have a brain, you're smart. No, right? The reason why, like, we take the scholars' rulings of hadith is because scholars, they spend their entire lives, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, studying Islam, studying the deen, right? That they have the proper context to these things, right? If I'm a layman, I know nothing about this hadith other than what I read, I can't come to the correct conclusion simply because I don't have enough knowledge, right? That's why we take from the scholars. There's tens and thousands of scholars that have read this hadith and have come to their own conclusion, and we only take the consensus of them, what all of them agree with, right? It's not about being prideful, being arrogant. Oh, I'm smart, therefore I can think for myself. No, it's not about that. It's about letting the people that literally do this as their profession, right, come up with the rulings, and you take what you like and then you discard what you don't.
Okay.
Like, it's not about being arrogant.
Hyru said it's not only for women, it's for both. Read. We've read the hadith. It doesn't say anything about a man being cursed until the evening.
Yeah, but again,
most
like,
Muslim men who are going to be
she's
honest will say that's absurd.
She's right.
Unless
Hyro is right. The ruling is literally for both parties.
unless she's speaking about something else. She's probably not speaking about what we're talking about.
No, he is. Like, the ruling is for both men and women. But do you have, like, anything else that makes you think that Islam is bad for women?
Of course.
Yeah.
Are you
What is it?
are you gonna?
Like, give me like your strongest. Give me, like, your
I've just been saying this.
strongest
I've been saying
argument.
this for a long time now. The Muslims I'm speaking to can't even deal with this stuff, which is level 1. There's no way they can deal with what you classify as like the worst. All right,
I
so
don't classify anything as the worst. I don't think.
Do you
there's
think it's
anything bad in
acceptable
Islam.
for a woman to be beaten because she's praying too much?
Bro, you guys come up with the same, like, arguments, bro. But of course not.
Have you ever heard of the saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it?
Yes, sir.
I just said to you a moment ago, didn't I? Muslims can't even deal with level 1. How am I even going to get to level 5? So you're laughing, saying you think it's bad. Okay, so let's read.
I'm laughing because I said I already heard that argument before. But
Okay,
go on, brother.
okay. I'm interested to hear what you have to say then. Okay, cool. So this is Abu Dawud, Sunan Abu Dawud 2459. And it says, narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. A woman came to the Prophet while we were with him. She said, Messenger of Allah, my husband Safwan ibn al-Mu'attal beats me when I pray and makes me break my fast when I keep a fast. And he does not offer the dawn prayer until the sun rises. So you obviously already said you don't think it's right for a woman to be beaten because she prays too much. Muhammad asked Safwan, who was present, about what she had said. He replied, Messenger of Allah, as for her statement, he beats me when I pray, she recites 2 surahs during prayer, and I have told her not to do so. So he says, because she's reciting too much during prayer time, that's why he beats her. So what do you think about that? Do you still think this is bad, or you think this is now acceptable because of the reason he gave?
Wait, where did the Prophet say that was acceptable?
Before we get to that,
Is that the end of the hadith or not?
before we get to that, I just want to ask you, you said it was bad initially. The reason he's now given, is that acceptable?
Okay, so to recap from the hadith, right?
Is it acceptable, yes or no?
I'm just recapping. Hold on, I'll tell
I
you.
don't need you to
So he
recap.
comes-
I don't need you to recap.
Oh my
just
God,
answer
be
the question.
patient.
Just answer the question.
Be patient.
I'm very patient. Trust me.
Okay, let me recap.
Just answer the question. Is it acceptable now, in your mind, based on why he said he beat her?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. Yes or no?
Yeah, comma, no.
Okay. So now, let's see Muhammad condemn this behavior by Safwan for beating his wife because she prays too much. Okay, so the hadith continues, and Muhammad says, he, the Prophet, said, if 1 surah is recited during prayer, that is sufficient for the people. And then Safwan continues speaking about the other stuff. So Muhammad didn't say he was wrong for beating her too much. He actually agreed with him and said, okay, cool, only recite 1 prayer, not 2. What do you think about that?
Bro, again, this is literally what you guys do, bro. Like, listen, right? Nowhere, like, in the hadith, did the Prophet say that, okay, what he did was correct, right? When we pray, like as Muslims, right, we recite like one surah, fine, right? But he never said that, like beating your wife, like it's okay.
Okay, so if a woman comes to Muhammad and says, my husband is beating me because I pray too much. He asks the husband about what she said. He says, she said I beat her too much. And the reason I beat her too much is because she's praying too much during prayer time and I've told her no. She recites 2 surahs and I've said no. Muhammad now says in response, 1 surah is sufficient. So he's agreeing with what he's saying and not what the woman's saying. This is very simple. Guys, she said BRB just for the record, but I'm not even gonna lie, like listen to this woman talk. Just Bukhari 304 is ringing in my head. You know the hadith where Muhammad says women are half-brained, the dumbest people he's ever seen. This is what I'm thinking just the whole time she's talking. This is what Islam does to you. We've heard Muslims say before, in Islam, you don't use your brains. I don't understand what's so difficult for these people. She's gone. All right, and guys, just so you know, they reported the live stream a little while ago. So just notice, I'm going to have to start probably tracking like records, like how quickly they report the live stream these days. Okay. Hyros is saying, oh, it's a hadith. Not all Muslims follow the hadith. Okay. Whether you follow the hadith or not follow, thank you for liking. I appreciate you. Whether you follow the hadith or not, it's not just the hadith. We could talk about the Quran as well. There's problems all over Islam sources. So a lot of Muslims will throw the hadith under the bus and they won't. And they'll say, oh, we're Quran only. You go to the Quran, then they'll just start explaining it away. OMP says he wants to call in. Call in. Oh, look, again, 2 times. It's been flagged as hate speech. So they've reported it twice already. All right, call in if you like. If you want to have this conversation, call in. And we can talk about the Quran, we can talk about the hadith. If you're going to call in, you or OMP, call in. Because if not, all right, OMP was first. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm sick. If you can hear me.
I can hear you. How you doing? Can you hear me?
Okay, what's the problem with the hadith you said? I didn't hear you quite well. I came late.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
How you doing, bro? You alright?
Yes, good.
Okay. You're a Muslim, yeah?
Yes.
And you accept the hadith and the Quran.
Okay, but what hadith is it? Is it Bukhari?
Do you only accept from Bukhari?
No, I accept other hadiths, but is it from there? I'm trying to ask. What hadith is it?
We've read a couple different hadith. So, what hadith are you talking about?
What is the hadith you have a problem with?
Okay, I'll read one to you. This is Bukhari 5193. Bukhari 5193. It says, the Prophet said, narrated Abu Huraira, the Prophet said, if a man invites his wife to sleep with him and she refuses to come to him, then the angels send their curses on her until the morning. What do you think about that?
What?
That sounds
What did you say?
That sounds about the right response to stuff like this.
The Prophet said, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, if a man invites his wife to sleep with him and she refuses to come with him, the angel sent a curse until in morning.
Bukhari 5193. What do you think about that?
1 second, I'm going to get the hadith, okay?
Okay. This is why, just know, guys, right? Like, send in hearts, share this out. This is why they keep flagging and reporting this live stream for hate speech. This is why. I promise you. Because there's so many ways you can go with this sort of topic. We're reading about the angels sending curses on the women for saying no. I promise you the Muslims are sending curses to the guy who made that video talking about Islam honors women more than Christianity. Trust me. These guys.
Okay, I read the hadith. It's the same as you said, but I don't.
What did you say, sorry? You read the hadith on what?
Well, it
you
just
said
says
you said it's the
curse,
same as
but
what?
It doesn't imply.
Bro, slow down, bro. You said you read the hadith on what?
You said.
It was exactly what I said.
It's like you said.
Okay, so I wasn't lying. I was telling the truth.
Why?
Okay, that's good to hear. Okay, what do you think about it? Is it good?
Yes.
Is that good for women? Why are women being cursed? All night. Why are they being cursed?
I'm gonna read what a scholar has said with this point. Refusal and context. This verse is often debated regarding the rights of women and expectations of a husband. Many modern scholars clarify that this applies to unjustified refusal and does not permit harm or abuse, emphasizing that marriage should be based upon mercy and love as stated in the Quran. Okay?
Stated. Okay, where?
Yo.
Where? Like obviously
What?
the hadith.
That's what the scholars
the hadith
say.
The hadith doesn't say any of that. So yes, you can quote a scholar who's.
But
yes,
we can take verses from the Bible without
to
context, and they will look bad.
My goodness, who is taking this out of context?
What do you want?
Who is taking it out of context?
What do you mean it's not in context? You have to read what the verse says after and before.
What verse? It's not the Quran, it's the hadith. Is the hadith before and after going to give some context to this?
I'm not just saying. Okay. But the Quran also says that a woman can have the right to refuse with intercourse, with hugging, with everything.
Where does
she
it
has
say that?
every right.
Where does it say
the
that?
Bible.
Where does it say that? Where does it say she can? No, you just said, bro. You're all over.
419.
You're all over the place. Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. Let's go to the Quran and see. This is one thing you have to be careful with when you speak to Muslims. You always have to be ready to ask for the receipts.
But no, you said it's a bad thing that the curse, but it's not harmful to the women. It's not.
Is a curse? Is a curse? Is a curse good or bad? Is a curse good or bad?
For you, I think it's bad. But a curse can be also.
Is a curse good or bad?
It's bad.
Okay, so why are you saying?
But this curse does not harm the person.
So why are you saying it's not bad?
Does not.
Okay, let's read this.
Because it does not harm the women. It does not do anything to the women. It just.
Hold on.
What do you have to say, bro?
Hold on. Samba, thank you for sending in the heart. Appreciate you. This is the comical nature of Islam. Don't worry. I want to go to chapter 2 of the Quran. Don't worry. But let's just deal with what he's saying here. Bro, hold on. We're gonna read your verse.
You know how to insult Islam, but.
Okay, hold on. So this is what he's sending us to, right? Oh, believer, bro, chill out.
419.
Chill out and respect your Quran. O believers, it is not lawful for you to inherit women against their will, neither debar them, that you may go off with part of what you have given them, except when they commit a flagrant indecency. Consort with them honorably, or if you are adverse to them, it is possible you may be averse to a thing, and God said it, and God set it in much good. Okay, so tell me what this verse is based on. What's this verse about? Have you read the tafsir on this verse?
The
Have you read the
Is that
tafsir?
the tafsir or is that the verse?
I read the verse, and I'm asking you, have you read the tafsir on this verse?
No, I have not.
Okay, let's read the tafsir. Let's read some of the tafsir.
No.
You
What
don't.
verse is it?
419. This is the verse you said we should go to. All right.
But yeah, what is the problem with the verse?
Okay, I didn't say anything that there's a problem. The verse isn't talking about women in general. It's talking about specific women. If you read the tafsir of Ibn Abbas, right, it says at the beginning, "O ye who believe, it is not lawful for you to forcibly, coercively, to inherit the women of your deceased kinsmen." So basically, if you read through his tafsir, he's explaining how there was a custom in Arabia that a woman would become a widow, and then people in the family would just basically inherit them and take them as now like their wives, etc. This is what it's talking about. It's not talking about general women. So it wouldn't help you in regards to this hadith.
I don't know where you got that, but okay, I'll trust you.
No, you don't need to trust me. Read Ibn Abbas, the tafsir. Read the tafsir on it. It says it. It says it. It says it in the very first line. All right.
Okay. So what?
That's my name. Don't wear it out. See, you see the crazy.
There's many other verses which has.
These guys will take you on a merry-go-round. They'll quote stuff.
Yo, what do you have to say, bro? It's not.
They'll quote stuff out of context. They won't mention stuff. He's quoting verses. He doesn't even know what these verses are about.
Yes, we mentioned stuff. You talked about how women have no rights and men should take them after the husband's death. That's what you said, bro.
I said that's based on
we have many other verses
I
talking
said that's
about
based on the
women and
tafsir.
how they have rights. Do you know that Arabia? But what does the tafsir say?
Okay,
it says that, right?
I read the hadith.
And I don't understand.
Did you not hear me read the hadith? Oh, sorry, the tafsir?
Yeah, I explained.
All right, look, I'm good. Look, okay. That's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say. Be quiet. Just be quiet and listen, man. All right. This is chapter 4, verse 19. This is Ibn Abbas, right? His tafsir. And it says, "O ye who believe, it is not lawful for you to forcibly, coercively, or to inherit the women of your deceased kinsmen, the women of your fathers, nor that you should put constraint upon them by perverting them from marrying again." Because the dad, as you can see here, he would die. His wife or his wives, whatever would be there, a close family member would now take them. And this is what he's speaking against in this verse. Then it says, this verse was revealed about Kabsha, what does that say? Bin Ma'am, Al, etc. Yeah, okay, cool. I'm not going to read all those names. "For before the advent of Islam, they used to inherit the women of their fathers, that ye may take away a part of that which ye have given them. Take away part of that which your fathers gave them," as in take part of their, the mahram, their dowry, basically, unless they be guilty of flagrant lewdness. So you can't now say, okay, yeah, you're mine now. I'm going to take some of what the father or the family member gave you and now take it for myself. That's what he's speaking against. And then it goes on, man. But, bro, if you're actually listening to what I'm talking about, go and read the tafsir in more, like you can read it in more detail and it will show you exactly what I'm talking about, bro. It's not talking about all women.
But doesn't that talk about the old tradition? Did Ibn Abbas say you have no right to forcefully marry the women after their divorce? Didn't
it says you can't take those women. That was
the old tradition. And then Prophet Muhammad.
It says you can't take them, and then it says unless they've done they've done something basically worthy of punishment, is what he's saying. But listen, I'm not disputing that with you. That wasn't
why? If a woman kills, is she not punishment? Does she not have punishment? Or if she does another crime, she should not have. She should not be punished. Is that what you're saying?
I didn't say that, bro. You're not following the conversation.
Because in the Quran, God says men are equal, and punishment will come both of them.
Men are equal.
For women and men.
Men are equal in regards to punishment.
If a woman does a crime, she should be punished.
I didn't say she shouldn't be punished. That's not the point.
Yeah.
You're not listening.
Men are equal to women.
You're not listening. You're not listening, man.
But doesn't the verse say if a woman does something, does a crime or unlawful thing, she should be punished? Your Bible says that yourself. Your Bible says you should stone women and children for not.
Bye, man. Imagine. That was classical, man. Look, this is what we have to deal with. This is what we have to deal with. People who you like. Why do I know their sources better than them? This is a guy, and he's not the first, right? But this is the kind of stuff that they do. I think by my count, they've reported the live stream 3 times now. So, guys, this is what I keep saying. Share it. But just notice these guys, you read something to them, you tell them something, they turn around and say, oh no. It's not true. The Quran says this. They take you to a verse which isn't even talking about what they think it's talking about. Why do we as the Christians have to school them and give them the education? Like, so you know what that makes me believe? That makes me believe that some Muslim scholar somewhere is teaching Muslims, okay, yeah, go to 419 and it shows you that this is treating like women well, etc. As if it's speaking about all women. Exactly. God bless you, Zara. I hope you're doing well. But this is amazing, right? We have to teach them their own religion, and at the same time, they're hurling accusations and insults to us. That's why whenever you hear a Muslim say, yeah, it says exactly what you say, that's why I like to get them to repeat it so they can understand, actually, I said something and it was right. It's amazing. Muslims, this, you see, but again, this is what I was saying earlier on. It proves my point, right? This is why the Muslims are on the run. This is why they don't want to have these conversations. Zara, you can't be running late to the live streams. You're going to get fined. No, I'm joking, sister. It's cool. Right? Everyone's late once in a while. But yeah, guys, this is what we have to deal with. Muslims are shook. Muslims, all they can do is run away, right? So let's jump back to this video, right? We're watching this before, and until we get another caller. All right.
The 72 virgins when I die.
Yes. Okay. So 72 virgins is real.
It's real, guys. For the Muslim man, when he gets to paradise, he's going to have a whole bunch of women to deal with for all eternity. The women have the pleasure in Islam of being deflowered an unlimited amount of times. And apparently this is the kind of thing which shows Islam is good for women. Okay, let's keep going anyway.
The 72 virgins when I die.
Yes. Okay. So 72 virgins is real.
What a powerful 5 seconds. I could keep replaying this over and over again. This is just too comical, man. Why do men get multiple, unlimited amount of women in paradise and women don't get anything except to be recycled according to Allah's will over and over again by men?
The 72 virgins when I die.
Yes. Okay. So 72 virgins is real. That's in Islam. It's in the concept
I think
of
that's
it.
a little weird.
The concept of it is in the Quran.
Yeah.
But again, allow me to unpack.
Please.
So when you read these things in the Quran, please, Patrick, please, let's not forget the type of community these statements were being issued to. We're not talking about Oxford graduates or Harvard graduates. This was a primitive society in need of guidance, and therefore, in their mentality, there were certain things they considered to be worthwhile and rewards. And unfortunately, one of them, again, is women, right? So the word 70.
Before we go into this next point, this is just so, this is, you want to laugh, but you want to cry at the same time, because it's, imagine, right? Patrick Bay David asked him, okay, like, are the Houris true? Like, is this a true teaching in Islam? The Imam of Peace says, yes, it's true, it's true, it's true. And then his first justification is, Patrick, you have to bear with me. You have to remember, Patrick, that Islam came to a primitive, basically, that's just a more sophisticated way of saying Islam came to a group of dumb people. So when we talk about Muhammad saying the women were the dumbest people he's ever seen, the Imam of Peace agrees, right? That's what he's saying, right? Islam came to a primitive group of people. They didn't know anything. They were dumb. They were uncivilized, is what he's saying. And then notice what he says. He says, because they're primitive, because they didn't know any better, Allah, in his infinite wisdom and knowledge, gave this as a reward for these men who enter paradise. But at the same time, Muslims will tell you that Islam is, and the Quran and this whole religion is for all mankind. So if it was a pleasurable gift for the men at the time, right? They reported me again. If it was a pleasurable gift at the time, and it's still a pleasurable gift now to many Muslims, what is he saying inadvertently? That people are still primitive today in Islam. People are still dumb, is what he's basically saying. Which is crazy, because it just shows you the way that they think, which is mind-boggling. These Muslims don't realize, right? Every time they flag the live stream, it makes me more excited. It makes me realize, like, yes, you are stomping on the head of Satan, and Satan doesn't like it. Let's keep going. Let's go back a little bit.
This was a primitive society in need of guidance, and therefore, in their mentality, there were certain things they considered to be worthwhile and rewards.
I.e. 70 Houris, unlimited amounts of women in paradise, is a reward which they could understand, which they could strive for Allah in Islam for.
And unfortunately, one of them, again, is women, right? So the word 70 in Islam and in Arabic tradition and Arabic literature in general means a lot. It does not mean exactly 72.
You catch that? So when they say it's 70, it could be way more than 70. This is how some people say and believe it's an unlimited amount. It could be so many. The point is, a good example that we can understand as Christians, you know, when Jesus is like, Peter asked Jesus, okay, like, Lord, how often should I forgive my brother? And Jesus says 70 times 7. And it's like, you know, when you're young in the faith and you read it for the first couple of times and you're like, okay, 70 times 7, 490. And like, no, that's not the point. Jesus isn't saying, forgive your brother 490 times. The point he's just saying is, you keep forgiving, right? Have a heart of forgiveness. So that can help us understand what the Imam of Peace here is saying in regards to the Houris that are promised to Muslim men in paradise. It's just a way of saying they're going to get a lot. Could be less than 70, could be 70, could be more.
You know, you'll have preachers, again, I'm speaking about preachers. Preachers who say, every one of these virgins comes with 100 maids. So we're not going to stop counting. And every maid has a secondary mate. So what is this? You know, At the end of the day, there is a solid Abrahamic tradition that is focused on purity and piety. And then you have the development of a religion, and there are conversations between the religious hierarchy and the adherents of that religion. We have traditions, for example, where our Prophet was sitting down and people would come and ask him the same question. And he would answer in a different way. He wouldn't misguide people, but he would give the same answer in a different way. And the companions would say, why would you answer them differently? He says, because the first one was a farmer. If I give him examples using trees and fruits, he would understand. And the second guy was a businessman. If I speak to him in real estate, he'll understand better. It's more about being relatable. So, number one, the idea of 72 virgins is not a pillar in Islam, meaning that if you don't believe in it, you cannot be a full Muslim. No, it is there in the Quran, part of a conversation between the religion and the developing society, with a reminder that you're talking about a society, Patrick. Can I just ask my brother here, can you just go to Google, Patrick? Firstly, I should have said this first. I congratulate you on your clarity, really. I haven't done podcasts in America for 7 years, maybe 8 years. Yeah.
Notice how he's diverting. Why is he now just spending this time to start glazing Patrick by David in the middle of talking about this thing instead of actually focusing on the topic? This is what they do all the time. He hasn't really said anything up until this point. These guys are primitive. They don't know better. But what does that have to do with people today in Islam who, I'm sure you would have to say they're not primitive today, but they're still excited about the houris which are coming in paradise? Like, you can't make this up. Literally, halfway through what he's saying, he's glazing. Patrick, I haven't done podcasts in how many years, but I like you. You're special.
Yes, I get invites.
7, 8 years.
I can open my phone and show you the type of people invited, right? But if I don't listen to a podcast myself and I don't respect the interviewer, I don't. When I listen to you on other shows, I'll get to you now. When I listen to you interviewing other people, you know, when you're listening to someone and in your mind you have something to say about it, you're that guy. You always say exactly what I'm thinking. And I congratulate your clarity on many of these issues, but please, this is good. I want to continue. Go there and put Quranic verse, enter the home from its door. Okay, click on that, go down, there's a first link, right, Surah Al-Baqarah, 189. Wait. Okay, there we go. Chapter 2, verse 189. You want to highlight that, please? The second sentence? Okay. Do you see that, Patrick? Mm-hmm. I'm going to go to the end of that verse there. Righteousness is not in entering your houses from the back doors. Rather, righteousness is to be mindful of Allah. So enter your homes through their proper doors. Patrick, tell me, why is it that Archangel Gabriel, this is again, I'm speaking about the Islamic tradition, Archangel Gabriel, who carried each and every one of these verses down onto the Prophet Muhammad. And in the Quran we are told, when revelation comes down, the Prophet, his temperature goes up, right? It's something heavy that's being bestowed upon him. Mm-hmm. He's receiving a message from God. He begins to sweat. He's in fear. Now, the Prophet has to go through that entire process.
Even just a side note, why would you be in like continued fear, continued sweat when you're getting revelation from God? Like, does that really sound like angels coming consecutively, repeatedly to give you messages from God? Like that's not what this sounds like. The first time you may be afraid, and the typical way that what happens with an angel in the Bible when someone's afraid the first time is he allays their fear, he calms them down. He says, don't worry, don't be afraid, I'm been sent by God, etc. How is this guy getting continued revelation and he's continuing to freak out and get into cold sweats and be afraid? This doesn't make sense.
For then a verse to tell him, please tell your guys, tell the believers. He's speaking to the Muslims. The first Muslim community in Mecca. Enter your home from the front door. what were you doing? Like, what were you doing? Do you see? That's the level of intellect we need to be mindful of. These are people who were not accustomed to anything logical that you and I have. When you meet someone, basic common sense and basic logic, that does not exist. And you can't expect it from someone who buries his daughter alive. You can't. Someone who thinks burying daughters alive is a shame, that's the level of mentality our Prophet had to deal with. Patrick, Jesus Christ came to a civilization. He came to a civilization where there were Romans, and the Jewish civilization alone is huge. That's why he didn't have to go through what our Prophet went through. Our Prophet was dealing with people who don't get it. The struggle was real, I'm telling you. You're not dealing with a single situation. This is the type of people. He has to tell them, when you go home, please use the front door. Like, revelation needs to take place, because they were digging holes from the back of their homes and entering from the back after completing pilgrimage. But why would you have a front door if you don't use it?
You're saying the following of Prophet Muhammad during the time that he was and where he was, there wasn't a level of advancement. So it was a higher level of naivete with the people, versus Jesus came to a place where there was already an established society. Is that what you're saying?
Beautifully said.
Okay. So then help me correlate those two together, because one would say that's even a bigger opportunity to manipulate and deceive and persuade a more naive audience than you would a more educated audience, which would be tougher to do so.
No, but they had their own
And imagine, see, this is what's so funny, right? This is why so many Muslims they do double talk. They say one thing and then they say the complete opposite. He just spent this whole time saying, Patrick, you have to listen. These guys were brain dead. They were dumb. They didn't know any better. They didn't even know to walk through the front door of their house. They kept going through the back door, and they needed to get revelation in order for that to happen. Okay, cool. Patrick's allowing him to go down this pathway. Okay, yeah, okay, cool. This is all it is, okay. So Patrick now asks just a very intelligent, powerful question. Okay, so if you're saying that with the time that Jesus came, these people had intellect, they were smart, they were sophisticated, they were civilized. Somehow now, in 7th century Arabia, Muhammad's come to these people who are brain dead, they're dummies, they don't know any better. That would mean that it's easier to manipulate them. The obvious answer to that is yes. It's easier to manipulate someone who doesn't know as much as someone who knows more. This is obvious. There's no point of him going down this pathway as much as he did to now immediately say, when he's asked that question, no, it's different because they had their culture. They had their culture. You see how they try to have their cake, and they try to eat their cake and have it too. You can't do that. It makes no sense. This is amazing. These guys
manipulate and deceive and persuade a more naive audience than you would a more educated audience, which would be tougher to do so.
No, but they had their own traditions.
No, but they had their own traditions. So it's either they aren't the smartest tools in the shed, or they are. You can't argue and say they're not the smartest and then turn around and say, oh, so that means and then they disagree and say it means they're not easier to be manipulated, right? That's not how this works. Winnie, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. And Zara Grace makes a good point. Maybe they used to use the back door because of hygiene. They didn't want to carry dirt on through the feet through the house. That's at least a good, reasonable thing. Another thing you could think of is maybe it was due to like war, and like you want to go through the back so people don't see you coming into your house, like for like security, safety measures. There's multiple different things you could think about. Yes, like it could be because like the Imam of Peace is saying, they just weren't that smart. It could be that. But to automatically just be like, okay, yeah, this is what it is, and this is why. This is what we have to do. We have to deal with. This is how it is. People just say whatever they want to say, and they expect you to believe it. But when you actually start questioning them and like poking holes in it, like, that doesn't actually even make sense. You can't say, yes, it makes them more easily manipulated because they're not as smart. You want to now explain that away because it doesn't sound good.
And they had their own gods, as I said. They worshipped their own idols. They had everything in place. There was a functioning tribal society.
Who were they idolizing before Prophet Muhammad?
The idols, Lat wal Uzza. Do you want to pull that up? Just put the idol of Lat,
Uzza?
Al-Uzza.
Uzza.
Yeah. No. Lat with a T, yep. And Uzza. U-double-Z-A.
Sorry, what was the last?
U-double-Z-A.
Double Z?
Yeah.
Double Z. No. U-Z-Z?
A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Al-Uzza.
This is one of the three chief goddesses of Arabian religion, pre-Islamic. Then she was worshipped by the pre-Islamic Arabs, and the Allat and Manat, a stone cube of Nakhla near Mecca, was held sacred as part of her cult. She mentioned in Quran 53:19 as being one of the goddess whom people worship. So he comes in a time where the level of naivete is high, but prior to that, they had some traditions.
Just like Abraham. Abraham had to deal with the Nimrod and the idol worshipping.
Right.
But keep that, go back to that Wikipedia page, please. I want you to click on, right there where your mouse is. You see pre-Islamic Quraysh? Click on that. Okay. That is the chief Arabian tribe that ruled Mecca. It's called Quraysh. And our prophet was from Quraysh. So he came not only to a society, he was rebelling against his own people.
Just bear in mind, guys, as we continue to hear what he's saying, he's gone on this whole rabbit trail, down this whole rabbit trail, because Patrick Bet David asked him about the 70 houris, the virgins that men get in paradise. This is his long soliloquy to just divert from the topic.
They were the establishment. You see that? So many people think that our prophet came against Jews and Christians. That's tribal alliances we'll get to later on. But the establishment itself was the prophet's family. The so-called conquest of Mecca, where the prophet came in and took Mecca, he was simply coming back home. So by law, if the chiefs of, by tribal law, by international law, if the owners of the land submit to you, and by tribal law and Islamically, all laws submit that the Prophet entering Mecca without a single drop of blood being shed, right? He took over Mecca. So he came back home. He's from Quraysh. He came to guide Quraysh, and Quraysh opposed him and tried to murder him. So upon return, what he did was, without spilling a single drop of blood, he entered Mecca, which is today the holiest site for Muslims. Mm-hmm. And there are reasons why Mecca is the holiest site for Muslims. It's not just the location where God placed his home.
Again, what does all of this have to do with what Patrick Bet David asked him initially? What are the Muslim men so excited about the virgin women? Why is this such a thing? He spent this whole time, how long has it been? Like 10 minutes, talking about these guys weren't really smart, they were dumb, and this was something which would entice them. But what about today?
I don't know if we're aware of that. Can you just click on Mecca, the first line right there? Beautiful. Okay, click on that black cube there, the picture. So we Muslims believe that Adam, our father Adam, the father of humanity.
See, this is just a good example, just like, of why, to help me understand why when I engage with Muslims, have conversations with them, I keep them on topic. Because if you don't keep them on topic, they will go all the way around the bush. They'll go all the way, they'll go to wherever they can take you to get you sidetracked, to not deal with what's actually being said. And if you don't realize it in real time, they'll be laughing at you. Like inside, they'll be like, "Oh, see, I've got him. He doesn't know any better. I've switched the conversation to something else. He's now talking about some of the gods and the idols that they worshipped in Mecca apparently before Muhammad came on the scene. He's now talking about why Mecca's Mecca and what, like, he's probably laughing inside at this point. He's probably thinking, look, he asked me this thing, I'm here talking about all this other stuff, given it Islamic history. And
because, again, Muslims believe there were humans before Adam. So he was a prophet. Prophet to who? There must have been a nation that he came to guide. The point is, the Prophet Adam so we refer to him as Prophet Adam, came to Arabia and created the base for this Kaaba, for the house of God. And then Abraham came and built it. And ever since then, it has undergone renovations. So floods would take place, for example, the flood of Noah, we believe. And then there's this theological question as to why the flood of Noah would even disrupt the structure of the Kaaba. And that's because it was full of idols at the time. It wasn't as sacred as it is after it was purified by the Prophet. So this was full of idols. Inside it were idols where that door is, above it and around it. We're full of idols. So I think we came down a different path. But going back, I still want you to know, the Prophet came to an established community that had amazing poets.
So did you catch it? You hear what he said?
So I think we came down a different path.
So just so you know, he's there acknowledging. That was his like salute to the crowd. I know exactly what I was doing. We went on this whole pathway. I wasted 12 minutes not talking really about what was actually asked of me in the beginning.
But going back, I still want you to know, the Prophet came to an established community that had amazing poets, had mathematicians, but when we say ignorant, they were ignorant of things to do with religion, with God, and they were firm in their belief of idols, and they had some terrible, terrible traditions, such as burying their women alive.
So they were smart. They had poets and mathematicians, so they were smart, but at the same time, they were dumb. They were ignorant about some of this stuff. And that's why it's acceptable for them to be expecting so many women, an unlimited amount, depending on what source you're reading, in paradise. And the women just get to be just part of the decor.
And to be honest, when you said what's the issue that you struggle with a lot in Islam, I thought you were going to ask me about the wife beating verse. I really thought so. But then you took it another path. But we can discuss that too. But
see, notice he was prepared to talk about 434 in the Quran. You see, this is what I said earlier on. This is such a bad topic for Muslims, for Islam. They may think you're going to go one way. You could just go a completely different way. So they don't know what to do. He is there telling on himself, showing that, look, I thought I was going to come and have to defend 434. That's what he was prepared to answer. But he didn't get that question. So he's now talking about something else. And you have to think about it like, he mentioned it and he's like, yeah, I'm fine talking about it. Why do you think he would say that? Because he most likely prepared, and that's in his mind, like he said. So he's thinking, yeah, I know exactly what I'm going to say if that verse comes up. And it's good that verse didn't come up. And he asked him about something else, because then you get to see exactly what he has to do on the spot with something he wasn't necessarily prepared for. This is the difference.
when it comes to the community, please keep in mind the community was not a highly developed community at the time.
Okay. So what happens if, by the way, just so you know, for me, you know, sometimes people see and they're wondering, well, Patrick's an Islamophobic, is this, is that? My chef, that's been with my family for 3 years, who's with us in our house, is a Muslim chef from Turkey. And he still is a Muslim. He's not converted to Christianity. He's a Muslim himself. He cooks for us. I had an assistant, guy named Hutan, who was a Muslim, who was with me for 1 year, one of the nicest guys I met in my life. But then I got hundreds of stories on the other side as well of what happened that I've personally witnessed. So I want you to know, I've met many, many peaceful people like you who are Muslim, who are incredible human beings to have dinner with, have conversations with, and major respect to those guys. This is not a blanket statement on everybody. A part of my challenge is trying to see if the two can coexist. Because if you can't coexist, then don't force it to coexist. Let them individually build their own societies and see what can happen. When we set out to create a shoe that...
So, there we have it. About 12 minute, 30 minute clip. And most of it was spent dodging and diverting. And now you know why the Muslims are dodging and diverting this conversation. They've got to a point, week after week after week after week, they can't handle the stuff we've been bringing up. Some stuff we brought up time and time again. Some stuff we've sprinkled in some new stuff. Either way, the stuff that, and this should show you, the stuff that they can even prepare for, they can't deal with. The callers we've had today so far are either malfunctioning from the beginning or going on as if like what we're reading is acceptable. We saw someone try to take us to a verse of the Quran as if it was actually going to help them, and it didn't. I have to explain to the caller that the hadith, the tafsir, is explaining the verse in a way which contradicts exactly what they think. Don't be surprised, guys. Like, the word is out. People are avoiding this topic. They don't want to have conversations with me anymore because they know how it goes. All right, since we just looked at the Imam of Peace saying what he said, right? This is Sahih Muslim 2838A, and notice what it says, right? This is just to kind of give some backstory to what the Imam of Peace was there talking about the houris, the women awaiting the men in paradise. And for you Muslims, that's who you're going to be competing with. So notice what it says, right? Abu Bakr bin Abdullah bin Qais, on the authority of his father, that Allah's messenger said that in paradise there would be for a believer, so one Muslim man, a tent of a single hollowed pole, the breadth of which would be 60 miles. So imagine, each believer is going to have like a tent, and it's 60 miles in breadth, so it's super wide. It would be meant for a believer, and the believer would go around in it, and none would be able to see the other. So what this is basically talking about, let me just scroll up as well, right? Just so you can see this. You can see the header, right? The tents of paradise and the wives that the believers will have in them. So what is being promised to the men in Islam here is that they're going to have this super wide tent in paradise, and each believer is going to have this tent, and in the tent, the believer is going to be able to go around and the others are not going to be able to see. So it's basically describing that they're going to be able to do their business, right? They're going to be able to get jiggy with it, and no one else is going to be able to see what's actually going on. And if you read, like, even more so around this, the sources will say, well, it's so that they can travel from place to place in their tent, and the women inside the tent won't be able to see each other. So it's really just like this mystical place for the man to do what he wants to do without even feeling like guilt of, oh, this woman over there saw me, or that woman over there saw me. So remember earlier on when I was saying that in paradise, a Muslima who's married to a man, she's not guaranteed to be with him in paradise. He could have her, but he could also she can just become competition more than the 4 that a man can have now in Islam. There in paradise, there could be a huge number of women. So it's basically saying that they can go from space to space in their tent and do what they want to do without anybody else in the tent seeing them. And again, notice what it says, 60 miles. This is the sort of distance. Imagine driving 60 miles. That's how far the guy's going to be able to move around in his tent, because there's going to be a lot of activity going on there. It's basically the point. And Muslim men still have the cheek to say this is a religion which is better for women than Christianity. Make that make sense. And again, guys, every time we run this live stream, it just shows you more and more, as more and more Muslims retreat and don't bring up these conversations, it shows you how much of a coward they are. These are supposed to be the people that can protect their religion, can protect their women. And by them being silent, it shows they can't protect the women. Like the first caller we had today, the guy is literally saying, yeah, like it's cool with the hadith we're reading, showing that their men agree with it. How am I hating on Islam? Zara, not our Zara, says I'm hating on Islam, but how am I hating on Islam? How am I actually hating on Islam? What am I saying which is hating on Islam? Saeed, Treasure Blocks, thank you for liking the live. Thank you, Winnie Pooh. I'm just reading the text. I'm reading your Quran, I'm reading your hadith. That's all I'm doing. Okay? You're saying Islam is bad. Why? Call in and I can tell you why. Saeed, you have to unmute yourself. Unmute yourself so I can hear you. Unmute yourself. We were just watching a video before. I'm not planning to talk to Saeed about this, but we just watched a video before of the Imam of Peace talking about the women in paradise that are awaiting the men. Saeed, if you don't speak, I'm going to drop you. Speak, Saeed. Saeed is the person who just called in, but he left. Zara, did you hear me say anything about a burqa? Of all the conversations I've had with Muslims, I've not mentioned the burqa as a problem once. Saeed.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay.
You can hear me?
All right. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, you're a Muslim, yeah?
Yes, I am Muslim.
Okay. And what kind of Muslim are you? You accept the Quran and the Hadith or just the Quran?
I believe in Quran and some of Hadith I believe in, some of them, not all of them.
Which Hadith do you believe in? The Sahih ones?
No. I just pick and choose.
You pick and choose?
Yeah.
Well, at least you're honest. It's not every day you hear a Muslim be honest about them picking and choosing the Hadith.
Yeah, I pick and choose. I do not reject the Hadiths, but I pick and choose. If it sound good, it's it's not agent our consciousness and it makes sense, then I accept it. If it doesn't make sense, I throw away in garbage.
He said if it sounds good and it makes sense, he accepts it. Yeah. If it doesn't sound good to him and it doesn't make sense to him, he rejects it.
I throw in garbage.
You throw it in the garbage?
Yeah.
Okay. So how can I take...
I believe that Bukhari was an evil man.
Bukhari was an evil man?
Yeah. If he was today, I could have killed him.
So you're not a Muslim then, are you?
Other people, yeah, they don't say I'm a Muslim. But what I am.
You are what you are?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's nothing wrong with the Quran though?
What's that?
But you said, okay, so there's nothing wrong with the Quran. You accept the Quran?
Yeah, I accept 100% Quran.
Are you a Shia or Sunni?
I was born in Sunni family, but I reject sect. Every sect I rejected.
Okay, so are you a Shia then? Do you believe what the Shia believe?
No, I do not believe Shia, Sunnis, Wahhabis, Salafi, Deobandi, whatever sect there, I do not believe them.
Okay, so your Quran only?
No, I believe in Hadith.
Listen, you can't say you believe in Hadith, but then pick and choose the Hadith you want to believe in.
Yes.
That's not how this works.
But no, that's how it worked with me. I work with that. I know people don't reject me, but that's what I am.
Okay. All right. So Quran, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. let's see if since we're in chapter 4, what do you think about? Have you got your Quran with you?
Chapter 4
Chapter 4.
and
Nisa, the woman.
yeah.
Have you got your Quran?
Verse? Yeah, I have with it.
Okay. Read verse 34 for me, please.
34.
Yeah. Michael, are you right about what?
4:34. Men are in charge of women by the right what Allah has given one over the other. So it says men are in charge.
No, Saeed, read the whole verse. Don't read a couple lines, a couple words. Read the whole verse,
I
please.
thought I'm going to explain one
No,
by one.
I didn't ask you for explanation. Just read the verse, please.
Men are in charge of women by right of what Allah has given one over the other. What they spend for maintenance from their wealth. So righteous women are devoutly obedient, guarding in the husband's absence what Allah would have them guard. But those wives from whom you fear uh, arrogance, first advise them, then they persist, forsake them in bed, and finally strike them. But if they obey you once more, seek no means agent them. Indeed, Allah is over exalted and grand.
Okay, thank you. What translation were you reading?
Sahih International.
Okay, so here international. So you read it. It said finally or lastly, which obviously is not in the Arabic, but it says strike them. So you think it's acceptable for a Muslim man to strike his wife?
Yeah.
Okay. What?
Okay. Good reason. I can give you good reason.
Okay. Why? Give me a good reason for you why you think it's good for a Muslim man to strike his wife if he fears disobedience from her. Go ahead.
Yeah. First of all, it says men are take care of the woman. Okay, it's not you just beating, but you take care of her. You provide her food, everything.
Yeah.
That's what it means.
If she's disobedient, then you strike them.
Yeah.
So tell me why. Give me the reason. Give me the reason why it's good.
I'm gonna explain to you everything. It's not just one thing. First, protector. Husband is a protector of wife. Okay. It's not a wife beater.
Okay. I didn't say he's a wife beater. I said the Quran in the verse says he can strike his wife. Tell me if that's good. If it's tell me why.
I'm gonna explain to you because you need to hear the whole thing. He's not a wife beater. You go and beat her out of her, So he's a protector of her, provider of her. Now, when she does something wrong, it's like she's cheating on you, or she's it's not cooking food for you. Okay, you go all the day, bring the food, and you work hard, and she did not cook for you, or she is cheating on somebody. So what you do, you talk to her first.
Okay. She didn't cook for she didn't cook for you, and you was out all day, so you talked to her first. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, you can take a cook, or she's cheating on you. Anything possible. It's not just she's not cooking you. You do not like her food. That's not what it's saying.
Okay.
So you warn her. Look, I'm not happy. What are you doing? I'm not happy.
You warn her first. You warn her first. I'm not happy. What are you doing? Fix up. Okay, keep going.
Yeah. She continues to do what you explained to her. You are not happy what she's doing.
Mm-hmm.
So what you do is next is you don't sleep with her to show her you are very serious about this.
Okay.
You should. After that, she still does not follow what you telling her, trying to tell her. She is still doing what she was doing. Then Allah said you can beat her. Okay. After that, if she she begin to do what you want to do, then you don't have to take any further action.
Okay.
So there are a lot of wife cheat on husband, and they do things like they don't cook, like their children are not eating food, and she doing that. So it's okay to beat them, because divorcing is not a good choice. Divorce means your children will be fatherless, motherless. So it is better to beat her and correct her, and that's okay with me.
Okay. So if, like you said, for example, your wife isn't cooking, she's not doing her wifely duties, you talk to her, then you tell her you're not happy about her behavior, you then stop sleeping in the same bed with her, and then after you beat her and you say that's acceptable, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine with me.
Okay.
If you have objection, let's say she's cheating on you.
Okay.
What solution do you have?
Let's
You have
say
a small children.
let's say for
You have
example it's because she cheated on him, even though I don't think that's what it's saying in that verse, but okay. So
But you are not that
let me talk.
serious matter.
Saeed, let me talk. So you think if your wife cheats on you, it's acceptable for you to then beat her?
If she's cheating on you, you can you have a choice of divorcing her. If you don't want to beat her, correct her, the only option you have is to divorce her.
Okay. So what benefit would beating your wife who cheated on you have? What benefit would that bring for you?
Uh, let's say you have a children, and divorce is very painful.
Mm-hmm.
You have a children, small children,
Mm-hmm.
and divorcing her could bring a disaster to the children. So you try to her, first try is explaining her, counseling her. Then next time you showing you are very serious about this. You don't sleep with her. Then finally you beat her.
Okay.
That does not mean you are making her break her bone or making her bleed.
I didn't say break
Just
her bones or make her
slightly.
bleed, but so you think you're thinking of the children. Because you're thinking of the children, you beat the wife so she can get correct and then the marriage is going to get better.
Yeah.
Okay. So you think if you beat your wife, it's going to make the marriage better?
Well, what else option you have? What option you have?
This is why. This is how.
Yeah. What option you have?
Something which
What you do?
doesn't involve beating your wife.
Wha- So give me so we can do that.
All right. Look, Saeed, man.
No, you don't have anything.
Okay, I don't have anything. It's fine.
I know you are people also beat wife. It's not you are
Okay.
innocent people.
Saeed,
You do
look.
beat.
Saeed, look. I'm gonna move on because. Well, you know what? Just wait. Don't. I'll come back to you. Hold on, right? Jesus, Lord, thank you that I'm not a Muslim.
Okay, now, why do you believe that Islam is bad for women?
Hello, how you doing? You okay?
Hello. Great, how are you?
I'm blessed.
That's good, that's good.
Okay.
Can I ask you why you believe that Islam is bad for women?
Didn't you just hear what that guy was saying?
First of all, I wanted to correct him. So actually, if you were to even lay hands on your woman on the day of judgment, you're going straight to the like hellfire if you don't repent.
Are you sure?
Number two, yeah, number two is the thing where like even in the Quran it says you cannot lay a hand on your woman, like you can't touch her physically, you can't bruise her, you can't leave scratches, you can't like do anything to her, but you can punish her, for example, in ways like as in if like she doesn't, I don't know, like she doesn't oblige to what you've said, right? Then you can punish her for in terms of like no, like not giving her money for a week or something, or like doing something like that. You can do those things, but you can never ever ever lay hands on a woman. If you do, then
that's just bad. Like, you can't do that.
You sure?
And yeah, and also I feel like a lot of people mix culture and what happens around in the world to Islam. Like, everyone thinks that, oh yeah, like that's Islam, that's Islam. But if you actually go to a mosque, you can be black, brown, white, Asian, you can be any ethnicity. You'll be gladly like you'll be coming in with like so many smiles, like so like people will like make you enter and like will like actually make you feel like you're at home. Like, they're not gonna make you feel like you're disgusting or like you're a bad person for joining. If someone comes in a mosque and they're like, oh yeah, I want to learn more about Islam, I will be more than happy to help. Christianity, I don't know a lot about, but because I have studied it, I'm gonna respect that religion as well. And it's the thing with me, my parents have always taught me to respect people, no matter their race, no matter their religion. You could be a Jew for all I care. I do not care. I don't care. As long as you're not like doing really messed up like stuff, then cool, whatever. But other than that, I've got respect for everyone that comes around me.
Okay. You said that people are mixing up culture with Islam. Yeah?
hmm
Okay. So is the Quran culture or is the Quran the Quran?
The Quran is the Quran. It's the holy book that was
Okay.
given
So when I
to us.
I read the verse, or actually he read the verse, and he
Mm.
started talking about it, saying it's acceptable under those circumstances. Why are you taking him to task when he's just talking about what the Quran says? He's not talking about culture.
No, but that's the thing. With him, I've like he wasn't explaining it properly, and what I was saying before in the first thing, you can punish your wife, but you cannot punish her physically. You can punish her in terms of, let's say if you know, like if like that example that I gave, if your wife didn't listen to you, or she was being rude or disrespectful, you can do things in terms of not giving her money for a week, or you know um like like you don't actually physically hurt her, you're not allowed to.
The
And
problem
also,
with that is
yeah,
the Quran doesn't say take the money from her.
no
It says beat them.
no no, but it does specify that you cannot hit your woman, like you cannot, that's not allowed.
Okay, so
And
what does it
also,
mean? What does it mean to beat, or to strike, or to scourge, or to discipline? What does that mean?
uh, that is not in the Quran. Oh my
That's
god.
the exact sort of reaction you should have. What
It
is
says strike, but it says strike, yeah, but it does not ever say, not like, it doesn't mean, oh yeah, you have to beat the like flipping out hell out of her.
I
You
don't
don't
understand
do
why
that.
Muslims always say it doesn't mean beat the living hell out of them. It doesn't mean break bones. Did you ever hear me say it means beat the living hell out of them, break bones?
No,
I'm
but
just
in
literally
terms of
using
like,
the word that's mentioned. What is it? What
yeah,
is it
but
if it says beat, if it says strike, if it says discipline, if it says scorch? You're saying it means no, don't give them money and all this different kind of stuff. But the Quran says what the Quran says. Why
no,
are you
but
running away from what the Quran says?
no, I'm not running away from it, and I do get what you're saying, but it's a thing where like, all I'm saying is the fact that it doesn't necessarily mean those words, like, oh, to like actually do that. It doesn't mean that.
Okay.
And it's a thing where like a lot of people interpret, like, yeah, a lot of people give these wrong sayings, and then people just are oblivious, and they're like, like they just quickly like think, oh yeah, that's what it means, that's what it means. And then it's like, but you see, the thing is, it's like no one would ever do that. Like, I don't
Are
know
you sure?
any man in my, well, the thing is, there's like, that's like me saying, oh yeah, but Christian men hit their women as well, even though it's not allowed. And even though it says, I'm sure it says somewhere in the Bible that you can't do it, or is it somewhere. I know for a fact it says it somewhere.
So think about it like
But
this. Okay, think about it like this, right? If the Bible says you can't strike your wife, and the
yeah,
Quran says you can strike your wife, why are you fighting so hard for something which the Quran actually just says?
it doesn't mean strike, like as in you have to
What does it mean?
do something physically about it. Like I said, it means you have to do something in terms of like if you were to punish her, it's not actually punishing her in a physical way. It's more about the fact that you have to punish her in a way where it's like she's not able to get money, or like she's not able to like go out, or you know, those things. It's never like about, oh yeah, you need to hurt them.
Are you
And
Quran
I feel
only?
like, pardon?
Are you a Quran only Muslim, or are you accept hadith?
Sorry, what?
Do you accept only the Quran, or do you accept hadith as well?
I accept the Quran.
Do you accept hadith?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like, oh, my, sorry, that was my friend. But what's it called? Yeah, but like that's the thing. And also it's like it's not like I'm gonna judge you for what opinion you have on Islam, but it's just I wanna be able to make sure that other people don't think that Islam is a bad thing. Because if you actually deep it, like for example, if like so this is a sensitive topic, but basically obviously if a man has, you know, raped, I'm not gonna actually say it, raped a woman, she's allowed to, you know, kill him. She's allowed to do that because it's like if I had a daughter and she told me that happened, I'm allowed to actually go act upon it, because it's a thing where like that's not allowed. Like Allah will
How
never ever
are you
accept
gonna know
those
that happened
people.
without witnesses?
No, obviously, if there's witnesses, if there's like that, you would have to know, like you would have to do it unless like there's actually proof and stuff like that. You cannot do it if it's like, oh yeah, like you know, like if she just said it to me and then I'm like, oh yeah, let me just, you know, do something about it. That's not what happens. I'm gonna obviously get proof, and if she has proof, then I'll use it. Do you get it?
The
So
problem.
it's a thing, and also, oh, and also it's like, if a woman was to like get raped, she's allowed to have an abortion because that's you're not allowed. Like, do you know what I mean? You're gonna be carrying your rapist child.
So this is the problem, right? I have. You heard the
Hmm.
previous caller read the same verse and say, yeah, it says it, and he justified it and said, if a woman's misbehaving and she's not doing her wifely duties, this is a mechanism that Allah has given men to save their marriages. Make that make sense. You said he doesn't know what he's talking about. We're now talking about the same verse, and you're not even going along with what the verse says. You're saying, no, it means something completely different. How am I supposed to make sense of this situation when
No,
you
but like that's what I'm saying. Sorry for cutting you off. Carry on.
go? No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. I was just saying that it's the fact that you when it's a strike or something like that or whatever, um, like it doesn't actually necessarily mean you have to beat a woman. Do you know what I mean? Like it
Can it
it does
mean?
not mean
Can it
that.
mean beat a woman?
And I feel like no, it doesn't. It doesn't mean
So
that.
it's can it mean beat a woman?
No, it doesn't. No, it can't.
So there's no way it can mean beat your wife.
You genuinely physically cannot do that because it's a thing where like if you do that, you get as a man, if you don't repent or if you don't change or if you don't do anything like that, you'll get sent straight to the hellfire.
Can I read you something which shows where Muhammad agreed with a man for beating his wife?
Who? Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. This is Abu Dawud, Sunan Abu Dawud 2459. Sunan Abu Dawud 2459. It says, narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. A woman came to the Prophet while we were with him. She said, Messenger of Allah, my husband Safwan ibn al-Muwatal beats me. He beats me when I pray and makes me break my fast when I keep a fast. And he does not offer the dawn prayer until the sun rises. You think it's right that he beats his wife because she's while she's praying?
No, but that's the thing. He did not say that he would personally beat women, and
Who?
it's a thing where like
Who didn't
it's
say that?
like there's no. it obviously says it in the Quran, but it's a thing where like it even says that there's no report there's no report that he actually did those things.
Who?
And like what's in the Quran?
There's no. What are you talking about?
In the Quran, there's no resources or anything that actually genuinely says that he has beat any woman.
Who?
Muhammad, Prophet Muhammad,
I'm
peace
not
be upon
reading
him.
this hadith to say Muhammad beat women. I said, can I show you a hadith where Muhammad was on the side of a Muslim who beat his wife? So this is why
Okay,
I asked
can you
you,
read it again?
the husband, what I read, the husband, she said to the Prophet, my husband, Safwan, beats me when I pray. She's coming to complain to Muhammad about this guy beating her while she prays her husband. Then Muhammad asks him about what she said. Then Safwan, the husband, says, because she asked, as for her statement, he beats me when I pray, he says, she recites 2 surahs during prayer and I told her not to do so. So his reason to Muhammad he gives is that she's praying too much and I told her not to pray that much. So because she's praying too much, I beat her. Is that acceptable?
No, so the thing is, Muhammad did not support or praise men for beating their wives, and in fact, it's like there was many reports showing that he criticized the behavior. Can I continue speaking, please? Can I continue speaking,
you
please?
can't. The reason why you can't is because I asked you a question, and you're going off track now.
And I'm answering
You're
it.
diverting to something else. Is it acceptable?
No, but
for the husband to beat his wife because she prays too much?
But that's not what happened. And what I'm saying is, Muhammad did not support, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, did not support or praise men to beat their wives. And
okay, what did Hadith say? What did it say?
Pardon?
What did the Hadith say? You said it did. That's not what happened. What did the Hadith say happened? Why did he say? Why did he say beats his wife? Why did he say? What did he say was the reason?
No, but I'm explaining to you.
What was the reason he said he beat his wife for?
So am I just going to get interrupted when I'm explaining?
If you're not answering my question, then yes.
I'm literally answering.
You're not answering it.
You didn't even let me.
Because you're accusing me of being dishonest. You said it didn't say that. So I'm now going back to the Hadith for us to clarify. What did the Hadith say was the reason he beat his wife?
But you're not letting me explain. So
don't know why these Muslims make me think Muhammad was right. They reported it again, guys. I hope you can see it makes sense why these people keep flagging the stream. It's just kind of self-explanatory, isn't it? My goodness. Thank you, Lord, that I'm not a Muslim. Saeed.
Yeah, brother.
Do you think it's good for a husband to beat his wife because she prays too much? What do you think?
Yeah, it's a good reason you can do it.
Bro, no. Saeed, you're definitely not a Muslim, man. You definitely are not a Muslim. There's no way you're a Muslim. There's no way. Just tell the truth, man.
I'm obeying the Quran, bro.
Tell the truth. You're not a Muslim.
What do you mean I'm not Muslim? I obey the Quran. What Quran say, you can beat and in a reasonable way, you know. It's not you beat her, break her bone, or bleed her. There is a time every husband do beat her their wife. You just try to find that Quran say beat her. I can even say you also beat her, your wife. If you have wife.
Guys, is he trolling?
But everybody does, brother. Spank her, slap her face, Yeah, every husband does that. Yeah, you have, but do not abuse. It's in that verse said, if she no longer does what she doing wrong, then you don't go and abuse her. That same verse saying that. So I have no problem. If every person believe this ayah, they will not abuse them. They will be reasonable her. If she done something wrong, they warn first. Man always don't warn her. When they find something doing wrong, they beat up her. Okay,
M
but the
says,
Quran says first you have to talk to her, warn her. You don't sleep with her. You show her you are very serious about this. Then she still did. Yeah, you can beat her. Even a wife can beat husband. If husband are cheating, doing wrong,
the wife can beat the
she have
husband.
right to beat you.
The wife can beat the husband.
Yeah, she can beat if she can. Beat her.
What verse? What verse or what source do you have to back that up?
You don't have to need a source. You don't need it.
M says,
If your husband
thank
is
God that ain't
cheating
you hating on another religion, anyways. So just like
Yes,
the Muslim man was hating on other people's religion at the beginning, right? I guess.
I'm not talking about your religion. I'm talking about Islam. If your husband cheating on you, you warn him. If he does not listen, then she can beat her up. I mean him. There is no problem with that. And you don't seek the divorce just because your wife cheat and you go and try to get a divorce. That's not a good idea because she may have made a wrong choice. So try
And,
to explain her, get a.
and
But
beating her is gonna get her back on track.
What's that?
You said she may have made the right choice, so you don't want to divorce, so beating her is gonna put her back on track.
Yeah, if she have an affair with somebody else, so you just don't divorce her. You try to make her, make her sorry.
You beat her and make her
That's how
sorry.
you do. What?
Saeed, you're doing my job for me. You know that, right?
I'm doing what?
You're doing my job for me. You know that, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to explain to you. Next, if your wife did something, you first explain to her, then make sure she understands your seriousness. If even of that she does not listen to you, then you should beat her. My recommend to you. What the people, majority of husband, they do beat their wife.
And you think
There
that's
is
good?
no need to.
You think it's good to do that?
Yeah. You should make her submit. What if she's cheating on you? Make her submit to you.
You should
Your
make her
way.
submit.
Yeah. If she's cheating, to make sure she's submit to your way, what you want to do.
He's
You
gone
don't
way
allow her
past
to
full
cheat
Muslim,
on you.
Winnie. We need to think of something else for this Muslim. He's gone way
No.
past full Muslim.
You have you can divorce her. You people do also beat her, your wife. It's not something you do not do. You also do. Check on your national survey. See how you do beat your wife or not. I'm sure majority of you beat your wife.
All right, so we've got a good question here, right? Or let me pose this to you. So, if your daughter was praying too much and her husband beat her, you'd say that's good, that's acceptable.
Yeah, I said you should do that.
So that's what I'm asking you. So if your daughter was married to a man and he beat her because she was praying too much,
Okay.
how would you feel about that? Would you say it's good?
Yeah, if my daughter cheating on him.
No, if she
she
didn't cook, that was one of the other examples you gave earlier on.
No,
So if she didn't cook properly,
she did not cook one time, it's okay.
a couple times, if she didn't cook a couple times, and then she came to you and said, she said, "Daddy, my husband, he beat me because I didn't cook the way he wanted me to."
No, she's supposed to cook.
I know.
If he's working outside.
I know that's what you believe, so I'm asking you, if she didn't cook for, let's say, a week, 2 weeks, and
I
then
mean,
she came and told you that her husband beat her, what would you say as her dad? Would you say it's good for her?
I
Okay.
mean, one time you can forgive, one time, 2 times, 3 times. But if she's not cooking food, then what are you gonna do? They get a divorce?
So you tell your daughter, okay, he beat you for good reason.
Yeah, because it's a good reason because you are not cooking food. Why you are not cooking food? I think you're just making too big out of these things. You understand God saying husband is a protector of woman.
There's no such thing
Why?
as praying too much.
What?
Not according to Muhammad, there is.
But this was said, husband is a protector of wife, provider of wife. He's not a beater of wife. You understand that? Or you don't? Husband is a protector of wife. That's the title given to her husband.
And part of protecting
not a
her,
wife beater.
and part of protecting her means he can beat her.
Yeah, if she does not do, she do wrong things, and it became a right to look. The children, you have a children, your children, jumping on bed, and you try to explain to them, look, don't jump on bed, don't go outside, you may get accident, and you explain to your children, but they are still not listening. So you beat them.
So
they don't get hurt.
is your wife like one of your children?
But no, she's not listening.
So but you're saying when your children do wrong, you tell them, and then you beat them. So
Yeah.
So is your wife like a child, like one of your
It-
children?
it-
You tell them,
even,
and if they don't listen, then you beat them.
Yeah. If husband flirting with another girl, and you tell him you are flirting, if he does not listen, you can beat him. No problem. What wife should do if her husband is flirting with girls?
If he's flirting with girls,
Yeah, husband is flirting with the girls
why would he be flirting with girls?
because he like other girls.
I'm just gonna leave that there.
What do you wanna do? What's a wife supposed to do?
Zara says her brother doesn't beat his
My
wife,
brother does not. Oh,
and
because
her
she's
dad doesn't beat
good
her.
wife.
It doesn't beat her mum. So that means they're better Muslims than people like the rightly guided
She's a
caliphs,
good.
isn't it? Like Umar. That's all that means.
She's a
That's all
good.
that means.
Your mom is a good. That's why he's not beating you. Why she should be beaten if she is good wife?
All that comment proves is that her brother and her dad are better Muslims than people like Umar, who was a rightly guided caliph.
Yeah, they are good. Your brother wife is good, and your mother also good. You should be doing same thing, Zara. You should be learning from your brother wife and your mother. If you do not do, then your husband gonna beat you. Let's get lesson, learn from them.
Where are you based?
You
Where
think
are you
you're
from?
gonna do whatever you want and they're not gonna beat you? You are wrong.
Saeed, where are you from? Where do you live? Where, like, are you in Asia, in Europe, America?
I'm from India, but I live in America.
Okay. You're in America right now. Okay, so Zara says her ex-husband beat her because of anger, and she's no longer with him.
Yeah, she must have done something wrong, or maybe he was a jackass.
He must have done something wrong to warrant him beating her.
Yeah, he may be a jackass, or she may have done something wrong. Both possible.
Okay. Wow. You hear something new every
Brother,
day,
I'm
guys.
open to talk everything.
You hear something new every day. We've heard Muslims say We don't use our brains. We don't use our minds in Islam.
We don't use our brain.
We've heard Muslims say it's okay, they deserve it.
No, it's in America. They beat their up. They beat their girlfriend. They beat their wife. It is look at in the survey how much American beat their wife
Okay.
and their girlfriends.
Okay.
You have a worst record of wife beating, girlfriend beating.
Pardon?
American have a worst record of wife beating and girlfriend beating.
Yeah, because if you're living in America and you beat your wife, obviously that's what they believe in. That's why they would do it. It's not because the Bible's telling them that. Maybe the Quran maybe they're following the Quran.
Your Bible make no sense.
It doesn't make sense.
No.
But beating a wife makes sense.
Your Bible says turn other cheek.
Okay.
If you beat your wife, she has to turn her other cheeks. That's what your Bible says.
My goodness. All right, Saeed, man, look. You've done my job for me enough today, man.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You can call in another time, all right?
You learned something new.
Yeah, I'll definitely learn something new today.
Yeah. Thank you, brother. Thank you for taking my call.
All right, God bless. Chat soon.
God bless you too.
Islam really is the religion of surprises. Just when you think you've heard the craziest stuff in the world, someone says, hold my bag, watch this. It makes so much more sense. As I speak to more and more of these Muslim guys, it makes so much sense why they keep reporting the live stream. They've reported the live stream, I think, like 8 times. Like 8 times, guys. This is why every Muslim we speak to is exposing why they're on the run, why they don't want to talk about this sort of topic. Because if they did, they do it to themselves. They do it to themselves, guys. They do it to themselves. They do it to themselves, man. It's a shame. The crazy thing about this stuff is they actually think what they're saying actually makes sense. They think what they're saying is normal. That's why I couldn't even believe that. I find it so hard to believe that guy's a Muslim. Like actually like a genuine, yeah. I think he's just trolling. It's the evening and he's just like, yeah, you know what, let me just have some fun. Because or it's just I've spoken to so many Muslims who are just lying and deceiving. When you actually get a rule, it's hard to engage with actually a real Muslim who is going to just stand 10 toes down on what the sources say. Yeah, it says it. It's good for them. It's better to beat them into submission than to divorce them, etc. And the Muslims just come along and say, yeah, let's just flag the stream. Keep flagging it, flagging it, flagging it, flagging it. Report it for hate speech. I'm literally reading their sources, the Quran and the hadith, that they say they accept, and listening to them speak about their own religion. That's all I'm doing. I'm barely even giving commentary. I hope to God he wasn't being serious. You would think someone would be like, you ask him, like, what if your daughter comes and says this to you? And he's like, yeah, it's good. If she doesn't cook food 1 day, 2 days, okay. But if it's consistent, then it's what the husband has to do, he says, in order for the marriage to survive. Remember weeks ago when I was playing the video in the live stream of Dr. Yasser Qadi, and he was saying there was a time when doing this, striking your wife, could have saved the marriage. And we were talking about how on what planet would that save the marriage? Someone like Saeed, who we just heard, is on side with Dr. Yasser Qadi. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And this is the kind of person who would say that the Bible's backwards. The Bible doesn't make any sense. But he's literally reading a book which has normalized beating your spouse to him. So much so that it's just like water off a duck's back. It's just sliding off. He's just like, yeah. My goodness. Guys, if you want to call in as a Muslim, click the link in the chat. You can call in. We can have a conversation. I think we're going for a record today. How many people are going to block and report the live for hate speech for reading their own sources in Quran? That to be about like 8 times now. I'm not even mentioning every single time. Good luck finding a Muslim that stands 10 toes on Muhammad, because the reverts are embarrassed of their best example, so much so that they have to run to the Bible and throw their own sources under the bus. We see this every week, time and time again. They come and they say, yeah, and then you start reading it to them, they run away. So much so, we're so used to that. When an honest Muslim comes along, like Saeed, and says, this is what it says, I'm standing 10 toes down on it, we actually have to question if he's actually a Muslim. I'm actually thinking to myself, no, this guy can't be a Muslim. He can't be. He has to be trolling. He just has to be making fun of what's actually going on here. That's how deceptive so many of these Muslim callers that call in are. Either deceptive or they're just ignorant. They just don't know. You've got a woman saying, the verse that says strike doesn't say strike. We're reading a hadith which says the man was beating his wife because she prayed too much. And she's so delusional. She's like, no. My goodness. You see why earlier when one was playing the video of the Imam of Peace, when he said to Patrick Bay David, I thought you were going to ask me about 434, the wife beating verse. That's why that was in his mind, and that's what he was prepared for. Because he's thinking, look, this is basic low-hanging fruit. That's why he was trying to prep for that so much. This is their religion. It says it, but it doesn't say it. And obviously, as much as we talk about the Muslims that call in and say, listen, what's wrong with these people? They're far much braver than the cowards who stay in the comment section and talk tough, but will never call in. And when they call in, they start acting and playing games. My goodness. Like I said, there's so many ways you can take this that you don't know how to deal with it. Husband beating his wife because she prays too much, the irony. We looked earlier on about the angels cursing women all night. We read about the men in paradise having 60-mile wide tents where they can get jiggy with as many women as they like over and over again without anybody seeing them. this is what's crazy. It doesn't matter what you show them in the sources, they turn around and just throw it under the bus so easily. No, I don't accept the hadith, I accept the Quran. You show them, oh no, that's the Quran doesn't say that. Okay, show me a hadith. You show them a hadith. No. Muhammad didn't do this, Muhammad didn't do that. You show them a hadith with Muhammad. Oh no, they start explaining it away. Right? It's crazy. Ahmed, you're so funny. Do you know how, like, Ahmed's like, oh, there's only a few people watching. I'm like, bro, do you know how many times the Muslims have reported my live stream? So I've started again. The irony of these Muslims is so funny. They'll report your stream, get your stream restricted, and then when they come back and they're like, oh, why is your stream restricted? Why do you have lower viewers? Make it make sense. Thank you. Muhammad said, this is in their sources, before you start reporting me for hate speech, that hell is full of women. The majority of people in hell are women because they disbelieved in Allah. It's because they not because they disbelieved in Allah, because they were disobedient to their husbands. Right? That's why he put the majority of them in there. I'm good. All right, let's look at this, right? More bad treatment of women in the sources. We read this last time, and the guy that we read this to, the Muslim guy, he was all over the place. And Muslims today ain't going to do any better. They'll continue to run from it. All right. This is Sahih Muslim 145. What is it? 1453b. Right. It says, Aisha, Allah be pleased with her, reported that Salim, the freed slave of Abu Hudayfa, lived with him and his family in their house. She, the daughter of Suhail, came to Allah's apostle and said, right, listen very closely to what happens here. Salim has attained puberty as men attain, so he's now a man, Salim, and he understands what they understand, and he enters our house freely. I, however, perceive that something rankles in the heart of Abu Hudayfa. Abu Hudayfa is her husband. Salim is living with them. And her husband, and because Salim is a man now, Salim is walking around the house and she feels like something's wrong with him. She's feeling like he wants to do something to her. He wants to make an advancement on her. He wants to make a move on her. Abu Hudayfa is uncomfortable. Her husband's uncomfortable. Like, why is this guy in my house? I don't really want him in the house. He's a man now. He could try and make an advancement on his wife. So notice what Muhammad says to her. The religion which apparently honors women more than Christianity. Muhammad says to her, suckle him and you would become unlawful to him. And for those of you who are wondering, like, what on earth is going on here? At this point in time, in Islam, if a woman breastfed a man, not a boy, a man, she would become unlawful for him. So now he couldn't marry her. He couldn't have a relationship with her. So Muhammad says, listen, I know this guy's staying in your house. If your husband's uncomfortable, breastfeed him. In the other hadith which corroborates it, she says to him, how am I going to suckle him? How am I going to breastfeed him because he's a man? Muhammad says, do it anyway. So then it says, she returned and said, so I suckled him, and what was there in the heart of Abu Hudayfa disappeared. So she breastfed this man, and after she had breastfed the man, the husband he's cool now. Because under Islam at this point, now she is unlawful to him. So now he has no more concern that Salim is going to do something with her. So in order to stop a man from doing something with a woman, she would have to breastfeed him. But this is apparently a religion that honors women more than men. Mind-boggling. These guys don't want to defend Islam. They're ashamed. T Apologetics, thank you for liking the live. If you're a Muslim and you want to talk, you can feel free to call in. Wildcard, if you're a Muslim, call in. I think I would have to agree, Skylar. At first I was thinking, no, but I think it's quite obvious now. Muslims definitely don't want to talk to me on this subject anymore. Most of them are clearly afraid. And the ones that I've spoken to now, the ones that I speak to now, they haven't got the memo. They haven't got the memo from the Muslims that are saying, don't speak to him, don't talk on this topic with him. Because they know what's going to happen. What do you mean you can't call in, Wildcard? Just call in as anyone normally calls in, and you can call in. We've spoken to people already today. Oh my goodness. Previous callers trying to come in. Don't want to do that now. Apparently one of the previous callers thinks I ended my live because they refuted me. Please.
Can I ask you one thing? Why did you end the live when I said about the Bible?
Can I ask you one thing? Why are your Muslim brothers and sisters continuing to flag my live stream for hate speech when I'm just reading your sources?
I never said anything disrespectful. I just asked you a question. Why did you end the live when I asked about the Bible?
Did you hear what I said?
What?
Why do your Muslim brothers and sisters keep reporting my live stream for hate speech when I'm just reading your sources, your Quran and your hadith?
I don't know, brother. If it's not me, I did not report you. If that's what you're asking, I know that's disrespectful and not cool. I will accept that. But there are many Christians who do the same.
Many Christians who report people's live streams for hate speech? I don't think so. That's hard to believe.
No. And how do we know they were Muslim? Did they say to you?
Well, who else? Who do you take an educated guess? Who do you think is gonna? Who do you think is gonna report today? Listen. Who do you think is gonna report this stream?
I don't know. Maybe someone who doesn't like you.
And who do you think wouldn't like me for doing a stream like this?
I don't know, brother. Let's not get into...
Isn't it amazing that I do live streams against Hebrew Israelites? You may not know who they are, but they don't report my live stream. I do live streams against Orthodox Judaism. They don't report my live stream. It's a constant...
Did they say to you that they were Muslim?
It's a constant theme. Every time I do streams on Islam, that my live stream gets reported for hate speech. Don't you think that's quite peculiar?
Wait, can I say something? Islam teaches to be respectful when you're giving dawah to someone, when you're informing about Islam. Can I give you the verse?
They're not trying to give me dawah. Haven't you realized
that? Because they're not good Muslims. They don't practice Islam. Even I'm not perfect, but I know what to do when I'm debating or speaking to someone. Be respectful. Even if you're not Muslim, don't have a connection with God. You know that, right? Even atheists are respectful. Don't laugh.
Some atheists are respectful, some are not. Atheists make their own rules up. So
Yeah, I know that, but not all people follow their religion. I see many Christians who don't know about Christianity speaking about Islam with no knowledge about Islam.
okay. So I'm just explaining to you why I ended my live stream at that time. I've ended the live stream multiple times because for some reason your Muslim brothers and sisters hate your Quran and hate your own hadith. That's why. So when we read
don't
it,
say hate.
when we read it, okay, what would you call it? If I read something from your Quran or from your hadith, and then your brothers and sisters report it for hate speech, what does that mean? That means what's being said, what's being read out, they hate. It's hateful. So they hate the Quran. They hate the hadith.
But
right?
you twist it in a way to make it sounds. You twist it in a way that make it sounds like it's bad. When the hadith you quoted about the
What's my name?
curse was nothing. What?
What's my name?
I didn't say anything about your name, brother.
I'm asking, what's my name though? Tell me what my name is.
I'm not saying your name. It's context.
Okay, so you think I'm someone who is going to be misreading and taking stuff out of context? You really think I'm going to do that?
Why did you say that Islam puts curses on women when it's not?
Because the hadith says that.
Is that not taking out of context?
The Prophet said, if a man invites his wife to sleep with him and she refuses to come to him, then the angels send their curses on her till the morning. The angels send their curses on her until the morning.
Okay, don't shout. The curse they're being placed on is not harmful, does not do something to them in the future. It's a speech. It doesn't do anything. It's not physically gonna do something. How can you curse something if you're not dealing with jinns?
So if it doesn't do anything, what is the point?
It's a form of speech. The curse in Arabic is something that means when you shout or when you disagree with someone. It can mean that. There are many different meanings in Arabic. Arabic has more than 6 million words, and the words have many contexts and many different meanings.
Okay.
You can't just have one.
Okay, I didn't say you just have to have one. Angels. Do you know how powerful one angel is? But it says multiple angels are going to send their curses on her. Or her saying to her husband.
Do the curses do anything? Do the curses do anything?
Whether they do anything or not isn't even the point. That's something you continue to hang on to. The point is that these angels are going to be cursing her all night long. You don't get the problem here.
Do you know what is a cuss? A cuss. When you cuss someone, when you say, sorry, mother cucker or what? Do you know what that is?
Oh my goodness.
Okay, just understand that a curse could mean something negatively said to someone, not just a curse, a real curse. Angels are divine beings. They can't curse. They don't have wills. They don't have consciousness. If God tells them something to do, they will do it.
So if Allah tells the angels to curse women, are they going to curse the women?
Cuss at women. Say something bad about
them.
Not bad.
C-U-R-S-E, curse. Are the angels going to follow what Allah says? If he says, go and curse those women.
If Allah says to do something, what they will do.
So they will do it.
Yes, but the curse is not going to affect the women by any physical thing or it won't do damage to them.
So the angels are going to curse the women if Allah tells them to do it, right?
It's a metaphor, brother. It's a metaphor. You can't curse something. Curse is something evil, right? Is it? Is curse evil?
I'm still trying to understand why you think these angels can't do what the hadith is saying.
Because angels are divine beings and curses are something that are dark, which Satan does. Not angels, the divine being of. If you think angel can curse, that just says something about your God. Our God does not say that angels can curse.
Is this hadith talking about
Human beings.
the God of the Bible or the God of Islam? Which God?
God of Islam.
Okay, so why are you saying that this has anything to do with me? This is your religion.
But okay, understand that. But why do you think that Islam says something and it is physically done? We say that we should shout at one who mistreats his wife, beat, not physically beat him in words. Will you take that physically? Because I've seen Christians do anything to make Islam.
In Islam, chapter 434 is
but the verse is saying metaphorically.
It's not saying metaphorically. You're lying. It doesn't say anything about metaphorically. And if it just meant speak, it already said speak in the verse. So why is it saying speak and then speak again? That doesn't make sense. Come on, use the brain that God's given you, man.
Like I said, the curse does not do anything. They only shout at something, which is women in this case. And she has the right to disagree, and she has the right to not agree to smacks.
Clearly the hadith says otherwise.
But the scholars interpret it another way. So if I say
scholars
something
contradict,
about the Bible and I take it out of context.
So if the scholars contradict what the hadith says, you go with the scholars instead of the hadith. If the scholars contradict what the Quran says, you go with the scholars instead of the hadith. Or the Quran.
Do you know what is explanation?
Yes, I understand what explanation is.
Explanation is something when you explain.
I don't even have a problem.
Tarawih.
I don't even have a problem if scholars explain something. I don't have a problem with that. Anyone, you can explain something as a scholar, but it has to actually make sense. You can't just make something up just to make something sound good. Would you agree?
Okay.
Okay. So let me read something else to you. All right. This is Sahih Muslim 1453. Sahih Muslim 14553. It says, Salim has attained puberty as men attain puberty. And he understands what they understand. And he enters our house freely. This is a woman speaking. And she says, I, however, perceive that something rankles in his heart, in the heart of Abu Hudayfa. Abu Hudayfa is her husband. Whereupon Allah's apostle said to her, suckle him. What does it mean to suckle?
Suck. I know what is suckle.
What does it mean?
To
what?
I know. I don't have another word for suckle. It's suckle, bro. I know what it means.
Okay, explain what happens when you suckle someone. What happens?
When you hug someone. I can't explain it. What do you mean? What is the word you're trying to use, bro?
Okay, if you saw someone suckling, what would you be seeing?
Suckling.
What would you see?
Why would I see someone?
What would you see?
Being intimate with his wife or partner.
Okay, but doing what? What would he be doing to his wife?
If it smacks, he can do whatever is permissible.
What would he be doing?
What do you mean?
If you walked into a room and you saw a man suckling his wife, what would you see? What would be happening?
They would have smacks.
That's not what suckling is.
I know what it is, but if I see someone, I'm gonna think they're having smacks.
Okay, but okay. Why is Muhammad telling this?
But what?
Why is Muhammad telling this woman to suckle another man who's not a husband?
No. You can't say that because that hadith is narrated by Aisha, the wife of the Prophet, not Muhammad. Why are you twisting the word?
What did
Sahih al.
what did I twist? Tell me what I twisted.
Can I read it for you? It was narrated by Aisha, the wife of the Prophet, and it describes a chain.
What did I twist? Tell me what I twisted.
You say it was narrated by the Prophet. You say
I
the
didn't
Prophet
say
said it,
I didn't
but the
say it
wife
was
said it.
narrated. I said Muhammad said. Allah's apostle said to her, suckle him. So you think Aisha's lying?
1453.
Yes. B. You can read A if you want.
When I search that, the hadith that comes up for me is different. I don't know what hadith you're talking about.
Muslim 1453. B.
It still says hadith narrated by Aisha describing a change in the revelation regarding how many times an infant must breastfeed for a woman to be considered a nursing child, which creates a familial bond that prohibits marriage.
Isn't it interesting that the chapter literally says chapter literally says breastfeeding an adult, but he's talking about breastfeeding the child. And oh look, they flagged the live stream. They flagged the live stream again,
it
guys.
It says how many times an infant must breastfeed from a woman. Infant, a baby. Where do you get adult, bro?
Okay.
Where do you get the adult? Can you give me the big screen so I can tell you the hadith?
The hadith, Muhammad says, suckle him. This is A now, 1453A. She said, how can I suckle him as he is a grown-up man? The hadith literally says it's a grown-up man. You're trying to get us to believe that these hadith are talking about having breastfeeding with children. Come on, man. And you're the same person that says you're not flagging the live stream, and you expect me to believe you.
The hadith. I'm saying, in the context of your previous question about contradictions, Sahih al-Muslim 143 describes the breastfeeding of an infant.
1453.
Are they separated?
1453. Sahih Muslim 1453.
It still says breastfeeding only counts for infants under 2 years old. The Prophet allowed it for infants to breastfeed from another woman.
My goodness.
I'm sorry if I'm not in the right hadith, but that's what it says for me. I'm not lying, swear to God.
Go to Google and type in Muslim 1453. This is very simple. If you search that, it's going to come up. It's going to be the first link.
Okay, can I read it now?
And it says the Book of Suckling. What does it say?
Yeah. Yeah, it says the Book of Suckling.
Okay. And what does it say? Read the hadith. You already said.
Messenger of Allah, I see on the face of Abu Hadhifa a sign of disgust on entering Salim, who is an ally, into our house, whereupon Allah's apostle sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, suckle him.
Who said
she
it?
said, how can I suckle him?
Who said it?
He's a grown-up man.
Who said it?
Who?
Who said it? Whereupon who?
The grown-up man.
Before that, she went into her house.
Who said the?
Yes, whereupon who said?
It's. I accidentally wait a second. I accidentally clicked the wrong link. Sign of disgust on entering Salim's, who is an ally, in our house. Allah's apostle said, suckle him.
Allah's who?
Apostle.
Who is that?
The
Who's the
prophet.
Okay, the prophet who?
Of Allah.
Yeah, what's his name? The prophet of Allah is who? What's his name? The prophet what?
I know he's a young man.
What's the prophet's name?
Wait a second, I'm gonna read. Wait a second. Muhammad, what are you talking about?
Okay, so Muhammad said what to her?
Wait a second.
What did Muhammad say to her?
Wait. Look at what it says after that. The woman said, how can I suckle him? He's a grown man. Allah's messenger smiled and laughed and said, I know he's a young man, that's why I said it. He's laughing. He's saying that it's a joke. Look at it, it says that too. Amir has made this addition in his narration practicable in a better narration of Imam. It says that, right?
Okay. And what does B say? The guy said, ouch. What does it say in the next hadith? The corroborating hadith. What does it say in the corroborating hadith? She says, how can I suckle him? Because he's a grown man. Then what does it say next? You click to the next one, and what does it say? She returned she returned and said, so I suckled him.
Something in the heart. Can I read it? Salim has attained puberty as a man attained, and he understands what they understand, and he enters our house freely. I, however, perceive that something in the heart of Abu Hudhifa, whereupon Allah's apostle said to her, suckle him and you would become unlawful for him. And the rankling which Abu Hudhifa feels in his heart will disappear. She returned and said, so I suckled him, and what was there in the heart of Abu Hudhifa disappeared.
So what does she say happened?
Do you know what is this talking about? Look.
She suckled him. Isn't that what it says?
Suckle him and you would become unlawful for him.
Yes.
You can't marry him.
Yes, we know this already. We know.
If a child is breastfeeded, you can't marry him. That's what it's talking about.
He's a man.
Where does it say a man? After
read it again.
Suckled him, Salim.
Read it again. Read the first line in the hadith. Salim has attained puberty.
Salim has attained
as
puberty.
men attain. As men attain. He's a man.
It says Salim.
Yes, he's a man. That's the person she's gonna suckle.
But yeah, this was before she suckled him. He suckled him. He was a kid. You know that kids can suckle until they're 10 years old? They can breastfeed with their mother for 10 years.
My goodness. If she suckled him when he was a child, why would her husband, Abu Hudayfa, have a problem with him coming into the house? That makes no sense. He didn't want him coming into the house anymore because he's a man and she hadn't suckled him. If she'd suckled him already, she would already be unlawful for him.
But the Prophet was talking to Abu Hudayfa, and they were talking about how the child, he was fearing that he will take his wife. That's why the Prophet said, suckle the child and he would become unlawful for you. You can't marry him. Do you understand?
I understand. I don't think you understand.
Okay. Let's read someone who that says that.
Can't you read it for yourself?
Let's look at the translation of the hadith mentioned in Sahih Imam Muslim and elsewhere. Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, reports that Sa'id bin Should I show you the link or what? Because this is a long passage and it talks about how she suckled him.
We've read it already. It's clear.
Yeah. The man was fearing that the wife was close with the young man. Young man can mean a child. And she said, and the Prophet said, he should suckle her and then he becomes unlawful for you. Like if you're fearing someone will take your wife, for Islamic rules, if he's a child, he can suckle the woman and he can't take her as a wife or as any type of, woman. If you have a problem with a woman suckling a child, then you should have problem.
We're not talking about a woman suckling a child. It's a woman suckling a man.
That says a child or a young man.
A man.
And nowhere did it say a man. Should I read it again?
You just said a young man. Is a young man or not?
Young man could mean
is a man a
child,
or
man is a man, but am I considered a man if I'm 11 years old? My grandpa calls me a young man. Am I a man now? A man is considered 18 and plus. Right?
Are you past puberty?
Me, yes.
So you'd be considered a man in Islam, wouldn't you?
But look at what it says. The passage A says she should suckle him, and then passage B says then he becomes the age of puberty.
No, it doesn't say he became the age of puberty. It says he's now a man. That's what it says.
Wait, I gotta say something. Salim, the young man, has attained puberty after she suckled him. This is passage B, and passage A is talking about how he suckled
It doesn't
her.
say, it says he's attained puberty. He's a man now. And this is why Abu Hudayfa, her husband,
after the suckling,
this is why,
right?
No. He's a man, and now Abu Hudayfa, her husband, is now starting to be worried. So the solution for Muhammad is, you now go and suckle Salim, who is a man now, so he is not able to marry you or do anything with you. This is simple, bro. I don't understand how this is not making sense to you. Look.
What do you mean, bro? I see.
Look.
The passage A says, I see on the face of Abu Hafia disgust on entering Salim's, who is an ally.
Yes.
Abu
Hudayfa is
Allah's messenger said, suckle him.
Abu Hudayfa is the husband. Salim is the man who's staying in their house. Abu Hudayfa doesn't like the fact that Salim, who is a man now, is going in and out of his house where his wife is. So Muhammad says the wife should suckle him, so she's unlawful to him. So she now suckles this man, and then Abu Hudayfa is now relaxed, and he's now like, okay, I can relax now. She suckled him, so he can't do anything with her. The only problem with this scenario is Salim is a man. So Muhammad is telling her to breastfeed a man who isn't her husband.
But how can you have a problem with a child suckling a woman?
He's not a child.
Okay, what is he then?
A man.
Okay, I understand what you're trying to say, but
it's not what I'm trying to say.
If a man suckles a woman, he becomes. Look, the husband was fearing that the guy Salim will take his wife. The Prophet advised to suckle him so that she would become his foster mother, making her a mahram, a close relative one cannot marry. So what? And then after he suckled him, the husband had his discomfort in his heart disappear.
Yep, because she had breastfed the man. She had breastfed
How
him.
it was done. Many scholars explain that Salah or Salim did not directly suckle her. Instead, she extracted her milk into a container which Salim then drank. This is an interpretation of a special.
I know, and it's a weak interpretation. You know that yourself because you even said to me earlier on, if you saw someone suckling, you'd think they're having schmecks. That's what you said, right?
But no one saw them smexing.
Don't say but that's what you said, isn't it?
No one said. No one.
But
saw
wait,
them
hold on.
smuggling.
But that's what you said, though, isn't it? You said earlier on when I was asking you, what does it mean to do this, and you said, oh, you'd think this is what's happening. That's what you said, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you know that it's
says,
so you know that
into a container.
So you know that interpretation that she's pouring it into a container for him to drink is useless. You know that yourself.
How is it useless?
Because that's not suckling, and you know that yourself. That's why you said what you said earlier on.
The scholars explain that how it's interpreted. You have to take the scholars' opinion, not yourself.
The scholars gonna say whatever the scholars gonna say. They'll say whatever they want to say. Listen, if the hadith can say suckle, and the woman can say out of her own mouth in A, how can I suckle him when he's a man? Does it sound like her asking that question means that she's gonna put her milk in a cup for him to drink?
Yeah, but then the Prophet smiled and explained to her how it would be done, didn't it? Didn't it say that?
It didn't explain how. He didn't explain anything how it's going to be done. He said suckle him. That's it.
But the scholars interpreted it another way, bro.
Okay. So let's say the sky's blue and all the scholars say the sky's black. Should we follow the scholars?
If it's obvious, no. The scholars interpreted
Pardon?
the books of the
What
Prophet.
did you say?
We can't.
You said what?
The scholars interpret the books of the Prophet.
So just because they interpret the books, that means you have to take every interpretation they give, even though the interpretation is dumb.
There are many scholars, more than thousands, and they have to agree upon one thing. If one scholar says that, then the others say 99 points say no, or 1% say yes. It's gonna be no. It's not one person who decides what the hadiths are. There are many. You can't take one guy's word for it.
Well, obviously they don't all agree that this is milk going into a bottle. But again, like I said to you, you are now trying to lean on some dead interpretation from some scholars who say she didn't really do it herself. It was a milk
dead
bottle.
Interpretation.
Yes, because
are you sure?
Yes.
Can I show you some evidence?
Yes, the reason why, because again, going back to this question, if this is milk going into a jar, why is she saying, how can I suckle him as he is a grown-up man? That doesn't make sense. She's not interpreting this as the scholars are apparently. Some of the scholars are interpreting this to mean she's going to put milk in a cup. She understands. She understands exactly what Muhammad is saying to her.
Look, if I say something about Leviticus 20:10,
here we go.
That states, look,
here we go.
I know it's wrong.
You know what's wrong.
Look, I'm not saying anything.
You know what's wrong.
I know it's wrong to stone women. I know it's wrong, but it's talking about the women of the people of, I don't know what people, but it's talking about people who are adulterer, who have sex with other people, stoning her. But if I take that out of context, and if no church father told me about why they stone her, I would have never known, and I would said, oh, they're stoning women for nothing.
Do you think
you have to take the words of the church father because there is no evidence?
Do you think
the Bible says?
If let me give you this example, yeah. So if the Bible says that a woman or a man, both of them, are stoned for adultery, and someone comes along and says, I know it says they're stoned for adultery, but it means something different. You think that we're going to go with scholars just because they're scholars instead of actually taking what the Bible says?
But the hadiths are not the Quran. Quran is actually perfect and it doesn't have to do anything. If hadiths are wrong, that's because they're man-made. Because they're man-written, or they're not actually a miracle. They are the life of the Prophet.
The hadith are not a miracle.
If he drank from a cup of breast milk, I have no problem with that. That's what the scholars say happened. And that's what many scholars believe, 1,000 or more. Why should I believe the one who says he drank from her?
Because
you know what?
Because you can read. That's why. Because God gave you a brain.
But we have to see what happened. I don't understand, bro. Why don't you have to believe you don't believe all the things that the church fathers say?
Do you believe that God has given you a brain?
Yes.
Do you believe the brain that God gave you works?
Yes.
Do you believe the brain God gave you can understand and accept truth?
It can accept truth.
Okay. So you could read this hadith and use the reason that God has given you in your brain to come to the conclusion that this isn't talking about milk going into a cup. Her reaction doesn't seem to suggest that she thinks this is milk going into a cup. Her response leans more to, she understands that Muhammad is saying, put your you know what in his mouth and let him drink some milk, and then you're unlawful to him.
Can I say something?
Go
Can we read
go ahead.
14? Look at what this says. The messenger of
Which
Allah,
one?
Muhammad.
No, which one?
There's no other.
Which hadith you talking about? A, B, C, which one?
Oh, 1453.
I know A, B, C, or D. There's multiple hadiths all telling the same story.
Let's read A.
Okay, what about it?
Messenger of Allah, Salim, the freed slave of Abu Hufida, is living with us in our house, and he has attained puberty as a man attained it, and has acquired knowledge of sex problems as men acquire. Whereupon he suckled him so that he may become unlawful in regarding to marriage for you. Abu Mulika said, I refrained from narrating this hadith for a year or so on account of fear that I met at Qasim. You said to him,
you're not reading A. Which one are you reading, man? You reading C or what?
I think it's A or B. C, it's C. Oh, sorry about that.
I was about to say, because I know that's not the one we're reading.
Oh, look, this is talking about after the smuggling. She said that after the smuggling, What? C comes after A.
Is living with us in our house, and he has attained puberty as men attain, and has acquired knowledge of the problems as men acquire. Whereupon he said, suckle him. So this is, Muhammad says suckle him after he's attained puberty and is a man. And even this one is even interesting. It says, I refrained from narrating this hadith for a year or so on the account of fear. He didn't want to even talk about it because he was afraid.
He didn't want to talk about it.
Abu Mulaika said, I refrained from narrating this hadith for a year or so on account of fear. She didn't want to talk about the hadith. I then met Al-Qasim and said to him, you narrated to me a hadith which I did not narrate to anyone. Afterwards he said, what is that? I informed him, whereupon he said, narrate it on my authority that Aisha, Allah be pleased if I had narrated that to me. So she was so afraid to mention this hadith. It was only when the guy said, okay, say that Aisha was the one. That is the one where this hadith came from. and then she started saying the hadith. Why would you be afraid to talk about this hadith if this is talking about milk going in a cup?
Because I don't have a real answer, but I'm thinking is because
Thank you.
she didn't want to narrate it because it was something about sex and nobody would talk about it.
That was the best
Why
thing
would
you. That was
anybody talk
listen.
about a child or a young man having?
That was the best thing you said so far. You don't have an answer. You should have just stopped there. That's it. You don't have an answer. What's the obvious answer that she's afraid to talk about this, to mention this hadith? Why would a woman not want to talk about a hadith where Muhammad is telling her to suckle a man if her husband is jealous and one is like worried about something?
Do you know we keep sins private or anything private which you shouldn't, like sex, we keep it private? Why would we share it with everybody? Would you share what someone has done with you regarding smacks? Would you share it? No, nobody would
This is
share it.
This is not
But
about that though.
I'm not talking about.
But she did share it.
Okay, like I said, I don't know. I don't know the full viewpoint. I will make more research. But like I said, the scholars say she poured it in a cup. That is Sahih Muslim. We have Sahih al-Bukhari. We have Sahih al-Ibn Abbas, the founder of the Hadith. We have Mathas. We have, more books about it, and we have more context. Why shouldn't I believe the context that other books have revealed or other Hadiths say about it? I should believe it because the scholars have researched it and have reached a point, have reached a conclusion. Like I said, there are many scholars who research the hadiths, and they actually say what is, the conditions, reasons, and why should it be done. That's why I believe the scholars. If you're talking about that.
All right. Well, all I can say to you is I pray that you use your brain and don't just follow scholars just because they're scholars. That's not how truth works. If you're really interested in truth, you have to be willing to go against what scholars are saying.
I can't follow the Bible.
I didn't tell you to follow the Bible.
After the war,
I didn't tell you to follow the Bible.
What do you follow? What are you?
I didn't tell you to follow the Bible.
What
said
religion do you follow?
I said you should follow the truth.
What religion do you follow?
Follow the truth. I'm a Christian. I follow the Bible. But I didn't tell you to follow the Bible. I just said follow truth. That's what I said you should do.
Okay, if we say that the Bible is truth, why does it say that women should be taken after war as slaves? Or women should be stoned if she's half... what? Why are you laughing? This is not funny.
I'm waiting for you to finish. I'm waiting for you to finish.
Is funny?
Do you think it's bad to take women as slaves?
But why did you laugh? Do you think...
I'm laughing because I'm laughing because of the trap you're walking yourself into. You think it's bad to take women as slaves?
What trap? Your own Bible says that the women should be taken as slaves, even men.
Do you think it's bad to take a woman as a slave?
Of course.
Okay. So go to chapter 4 of the Quran.
Chapter 4?
Yep.
What verse?
Chapter 24.
What verse?
24.
But can you explain why we should have, slaves as, like women as slaves? Why should we have them?
Because Muhammad says it's okay.
Not Muhammad. I'm talking about Bible. I didn't say anything
I
about
asked you.
Muhammad.
I know.
I know. Why?
You're saying, look, this is something that's bad with the Bible. I'm saying, okay. Let's say I don't agree with you. You're making a lot of mistakes. But let's say I agree with you. That's what it says. Okay, so the Quran says that. So are you going to condemn the Quran the way you're trying to condemn the Bible?
Okay, let's see what verse it is.
Read it.
Because you might be joking.
So I'm not joking. Read verse 24. Verse 24. Read it. My goodness.
Okay. Wait a second. It's loading.
After running left, right, and center
Also
away from the
forbidden are
Islam.
married women.
Hold on. After running all over the place
Okay.
to get away from the hadith, he couldn't do it. His best bet now is to try and say something about the Bible. And the very thing he's saying in the Bible, apparently, is in the Quran. Okay, go ahead and read it. Read verse 24.
Can I say something? I did not run. I said what the scholars view about that hadith, and you didn't accept it.
Read 24.
I don't know what to say.
Read 24.
Also forbidden are married women.
Okay. Forbidden
Except
from what?
Female captives. What?
Forbidden from what?
Married.
Okay. Except what?
Except female captives in your possession. This is Allah's command to you, lawful to seek all beyond these.
Okay, so Allah commanded that a Muslim man can't have relations with a married woman, but he can in the case of the ones that his right hand possesses.
Muslims didn't have any slaves. These are captives from other tribes or other cities. Do you know the stories about the wars about Islam?
Yes, but what does that have to do with what we're talking about? You said the Bible
because
isn't. You said
they
that.
took
Listen,
the captives.
you said the Bible is bad because it apparently allows you to take female slaves. So I said to you, okay, let's say I go with you down that pathway. The Quran says that. Now you just read the verse. Are you going to throw the Quran under the bus and attack the Quran the way you were just attacking the Bible?
Can I say something?
We're waiting for you to say something.
You said that it's not allowed to marry a woman who is captive, who is after the war. He can marry it. He can marry the woman. So what is the problem with that? I don't understand. The problem you're trying to say is that we can take any woman we want if they're captives.
It says unlawful for you are married women. So you can't have relations with married women. Except.
Yes.
Do you know what except means? What does accept mean?
Yes. Okay. Just read the verse.
What does accept
those
mean?
whom your right hand possess.
What does accept
Exception.
mean?
It's an exception.
Okay, so you can't have married women. The only exception is the women that your right hand possess. So if you go out in war and you defeat a tribe or you defeat people and there's a married woman there, you can have relationships with her, even though she's married to someone else. She's now your possession.
Can I say something?
You said the Bible's bad for apparently allowing this. Is the Quran bad for allowing this?
Do you know what is tafsir?
My goodness.
Okay, it's the interpretation, bro. Let's say the verse after that, it says, also forbidden are women that are already married, except those whom your right hand possess. Those women cannot be pregnant, cannot be already having kids. They can't have anything. Do you know if someone is married to someone and they don't want to be it, women couldn't divorce back then. And the marriage is in Islam is both parties agree. If someone doesn't agree, you cannot marry the woman. If the woman doesn't agree to marriage, you cannot marry the woman. Do you know that?
If your right hand,
if your
right hand possesses them,
twisting it to make it sound like we capture them and then we marry them. Even
what does your right hand possess mean?
The things you attain in war, like the things you acquire.
Okay.
Or you own.
Ibn Abbas said, all married women are forbidden unto you, except those captives whom your right hand possess, of captives, even if they have husbands in the abode of war, after ascertaining that they are not pregnant, by waiting for the lapse of one period of menstruation, it is a decree of Allah for you. That which I've mentioned to you is unlawful in Allah's book.
Yeah, so Ibn Abbas says you have to wait. If she is pregnant, those signs will show.
But he says it doesn't matter if she's got a husband or
marry
not.
it.
But he also said it doesn't matter if she's got a husband or not.
Where does it say if it doesn't matter if she has a husband?
In the
Where
tafsir,
does it say
in the
that?
tafsir, look, it says even if they have husbands in the abode of war.
I don't see it. Also forbidden are married women except females captive in your possession.
All right, bro. Look, man, it's a wrap, man.
I'm sorry, but you're trying to say something that is not. If the woman doesn't agree to the marriage, he cannot marry her.
Okay.
Why? What don't you understand about that?
Okay, it doesn't say that. Where does it say that?
Islam says that,
Where
not
does it-
the
The Quran says one thing, then you say, oh, you know what, it says something else. Look, man, like, I'm going round in a circle with someone who just clearly can't track where this conversation is going, man.
I mean, I don't see anywhere does it say if she's married you can take her. But okay.
Look,
Even if she doesn't want to, you can take her. Nowhere does it says that. If you read the whole thing, you'll understand it better.
If she
You're
has a
trying to
husband,
twist it, brother.
if she has a husband,
Yeah.
do you think she wants to marry someone else?
Maybe. If she's not happy with the marriage,
Okay.
she could
Okay.
be.
Okay. Don't worry, man. Look, call in another time, okay? We can speak again. But
I mean, I don't know what to speak about.
this is listen to me. Listen to me.
Quran says things about marriage.
Listen.
A woman can marry anyone if she
Listen.
agrees to it.
Listen. Think about the conversation we had. If you want, this is recorded on YT. You can watch it back. All right. I think I was more than gracious enough with you, man. But guys, I think today God has a sense of humor. I'm just gonna put it like that, right? I think today is a good live stream for people to see why they flag the live stream so much, why they don't call in the way they're calling in for this particular topic as they used to. I think this was a perfect advertisement. These people, they're gone, man. Like, this is why I always say pray for these people. Like, the spiritual warfare is real. You can't even read their own Quran, their own hadith to them without them turning around and just explaining everything away. Just because a scholar says something, it doesn't mean you have to follow it. Come on. God has given us a brain, a working brain. But they just choose not to use it. They literally just suspend all logic. They just say no. Brain off. They turn it off. You could have a conversation with them about so many different things. As soon as we start talking about the hadith, we start talking about the Quran, all of a sudden their mind goes off. And they say, look, we're just going to follow the scholars. The scholars say this, so this is what it is. Come on, man. Guys, don't forget to pray for these people. This is why they keep flagging the live stream. This is why they'll continue to flag it. I promise you, I'll bring a different topic. They won't start flagging them. Nowhere near as much anyway as this topic. Because they know they literally have no answers. They can't even talk about the Bible without destroying themselves. This is why we don't in all these conversations, how many times have I even needed to go into the Bible and be like, look, this is what the Bible actually says. So many times they say stuff. And even if we agree with them and say, okay, this is what the Bible says. Okay, this is the same thing which is in the Quran apparently. But so you see how quickly, oh yeah, the Bible's this, the Bible's that. We start talking about the Quran. Oh, this is what it says in the Quran. Oh, there's all these explanations under the sun. But when I start explaining, if I was to start explaining the Bible passages to them and giving them the context, what do you think they're going to say? We're going to be giving them actually reasonable answers. Not just some made up, oh yeah, it means putting milk in a cup and drinking it. Thank the Lord I am not a Muslim. I would hate to have to defend Islam. I would hate it. These guys. I don't understand how I am teaching and educating the Muslims. These are the same Muslims, mind you, who will say, I'm ignorant. I don't know what I'm talking about. I haven't read the Quran. I haven't read the hadith. I don't know this stuff. But I can go to their tafsir and tell them what the tafsir is talking about and tell them what it's saying. And they'll still accuse me of not knowing what I'm talking about. No cup was ever mentioned, but somehow the scholars came to the conclusion that it's a cup. The woman is literally asking Muhammad, how am I going to breastfeed him? He's a man. The woman in the other narration is saying she didn't want to tell the story for a whole year. But they can't piece it together and understand. What woman wanted to be taking part in this breastfeeding? And they wonder why the goat ate the Quran verses about breastfeeding. They can't put two and two together. Muslims, thank you. Thank you so much for showing how fearful you are of the truth. This is why Islam is in a dilemma. They can't get out. I said this earlier on at the beginning of the live stream. If you call, you're going to show how much of an embarrassment this stuff is. If you don't call, you're going to show how much of a coward you are. And oh my goodness, time right on the money. Flagged again. You can't make this up. When I'm giving the Muslims their prop, right on the money, they flag the live stream. This is so funny, guys. The goat said, listen, I need to save these women. The goat cared more about the women than the Muslim men did. This is funny. This is actually comical, man. They're so embarrassed. And this is the thing. You know what's actually funny? The imaginary cup. You know what's funny about this? Like, they actually, the Muslims who keep flagging it, they think I need the callers to make this happen. You know, I could just read, as I've been doing, through their sources and just speak about them. I could do that and it would be just as bad. And you know what would be just as bad is because Muslims would be coming along, hearing this stuff and still being cowards and not coming to defend it. So they flagged and flagged and flagged. And this is one of the even longest streams, which is, it's funny. They can keep doing what they're going to do, but it's not going to make a difference, guys. You're in a dilemma. You can't get out of it. And you're going to continue to stay in a dilemma. All right. Look, how long has it been? It's been like 3 hours. It's been over 3 hours. How long have we been going for? 3 hours and 18 minutes. All right. You heard the Muslims today, the ones that called in. It says enough. Islam shows itself. People always come into the live streams and they ask, how is Islam bad for women? All you have to do is listen to what they say. Bring up a hadith, bring up a Quran verse, ask them to explain it, and they show themselves exactly why Islam is bad for women. Guys, if you are a Christian woman and you ever get the inclination for some reason to consider Islam, just remember these live streams. Remember the sources. And what's even worse, I think, than the sources in the Quran or the Hadith is actually the Muslims who try and talk and explain the stuff away, who try to explain it away, try to deviate. suspend their logic, suspend their brains in midair just to make Islams seem good to women. At best, I've said this before, at best what you have in Islam is a mumbo jumbo of a hodgepodge, a mix and match of contradictory, sahih, authentic narrations which contradict. Angels' curses don't do nothing. We've got some quotables today. Angels' curses don't do nothing. We heard that today. We also heard that beating your wife is good and can save the marriage. And we also got the whole scholar over text. Scholar over the text. They hate the Quran. They hate the hadith. And that's why they keep reporting the live stream for hate speech when I'm literally reading their sources. Guys, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for bearing with me through today's live stream. As many times as they tried to flag it and did flag it, the truth will always prevail. I believe that wholeheartedly. That's why I can continue, even when they continue to flag it. I'll keep continuing to talk about this topic until I feel otherwise. So, guys, thank you all for joining the stream. Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit the like button. Hit that like button like you fear disobedience. Okay? Save the live stream by hitting the like button. And remember, there's no good reason as a woman to join Islam. Islam is bad for women. Christianity is better. And to the Muslim who lied and said Islam honors women more than Christianity, God help you. Because it could never honor women more than Christianity. All right, guys, it's, you know the drill anyway. Mondays and Wednesdays. Oh, look, they fingered it again. This is so funny. Anyway, you know the schedule, guys. Mondays and Wednesdays right now, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. UK. Live streams defending Christianity against different things. Monday's looking like it's going to be an Orthodox Jewish stream. I've got a nice idea that I might roll out for the first time on Monday, but we'll see by God's grace. You know, and you never know, I may be back before then with another live stream. So, thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you next time. God bless you all. Take care.